was on the way. Which, Jen, did we get a storm? Did I go to bed too early? Was it not as the storm of the century that everybody was warning me about yesterday afternoon in Lexington? You're not far down the road from me. Did it bother you? And were the dogs bothered last night? I feel like there's our barometer for a storm. Your side of town. How about you? Did you guys get? Yes.
We did. We
Yeah, you got
did.
to use one of those
I gotta
microphone
use the
things.
mic.
You
Okay, Mike.
didn't even turn it on. There was no mic. You were just going to talk like a
Just regular conversation. We did have a little bit of a storm, and I have an expert gauge in my mind about how far the storm away. It wasn't necessarily over us in the Northeast, but somewhere it was rocking and rolling somewhere pretty strong last night. A lot of lightning, but it wasn't right on top of us in the Northeast. So I'm not sure where it was. That is correct. Well, that is what I was also told. I don't know how this is scientifically correct, but this is what I was told as I was growing up. So it's you see the lightning, and then you count the seconds, and then you hear
You
the
count by
thunder.
Mississippi, though.
Well, this is when it gets tricky because is it like one Mississippi, or
That's what I'm saying.
Or is it like one Mississippi, two Mississippi, three Mississippi? See, Mississippi was always tricky when you were playing football because obviously I was gonna cheat and be like 1, 2, 3, one Mississippi, two Mississippi, three Mississippi, 4, 5. And they're like, you're not saying Mississippi long enough. So let's say by official Mississippi counts, that's supposed to be the distance of miles away the storm is from you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I actually read about that I read because whatever day it was last week that we had one of those storms. I think it was Tuesday night, along with then we had the really bad one Wednesday. But Tuesday night, I think we had one, and Austin was going to go take a shower because he'd had basketball practice. And he said, "Well, I'm not supposed to take a shower when it's storming, right?" And I was like, "Nah, that's from years ago, long time ago. You're fine now. Things are totally different." And I thought, let me read about that real quick. And it's because of the metal plumbing that's in, or the metal plumbing. I guess that there's more plastic piping now. So yeah, but you are correct.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and whenever I would go to my pop's house in Leary, Georgia, it was metal plumbing with a metal roof. So, thunderstorms are kind of definitely a little bit perilous. It's like, oh, everybody better sit still, turn all the lights off, stay away from and just kind of let the Lord do His work.
Sit in the middle of the living room.
Yes, 100%.
Book over your head.
Hmm?
They do that anymore in the schools now when they turn it the book over, crouch down. The
tornado drill.
The science book was always the one that was going to save me from a concussion in school, or if the building collapsed, they were just going to find me there reading my science book.
Tornado drill.
Yeah. Yep. So, well, Billy in Blythewood says Blythewood got slammed.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. So I'm not quite out to Blythewood, so I'm out there, dead in the Northeast over there by Spring Valley. So I felt like something was going on, but that sounds about right if it was Blythewood.
If you're out or somewhere around Highway 261 this morning near Manchester State Park, Dan in Somerton says Manning, Somerton, and Wedgefield got it pretty good last night. So hopefully you're okay this morning as we get you up and get you going and to the point that you started with, and that we'll let Preston just rail on. AC says, congrats, LSU. Too bad it's only game one of the series. Was worth watching, though. It depends. I'm not gonna lie. I stayed actually more tuned. I stayed tuned in on Sunday at my sister and brother-in-law's house because I wanted to see how bad Florida was gonna make it. We'd been at the pool. We had gone to the community pool, and they live in 12 Oaks up in Raleigh, and they have this community pool. It's at the clubhouse of the golf course. Oh my God, there's too many people. And you just knew that pool was not clean. Like that was not.
Just throw more chemicals in.
Yeah, you knew it. But so I was actually hanging. They were grilling, and I was outside watching on the TV. I did stay invested in that one just because I wanted to see how many runs Florida was going to put up on Sunday, and so you wanted to determine the national champion.
I'm as a not a Florida Gator fan, but if I was a Florida Gator fan, I would put this championship under protest because according to my tallies, 4-3, 24-4,
Yes.
18-4, all leads to a final cumulative score for the series of 31-26 Florida Gators. So they should be the national champions because they scored more runs in the series. They gave up less runs in the series. They are the better team. They should win the series.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get on board with that, I guess, and go with it. I thought I was going to be a little more invested. I feel like the national championship was that LSU Wake Forest series that we got. That was so much fun and so entertaining. We'll talk a little bit about that this morning. I also want to get into this with you yesterday because I want to get into rivalries because I want you to buy stock across sports and an upcoming rivalry.
Okay.
And I may be late to the party on this one. I might be late to the party. I'm not sure yet. But it seems like we do have a pretty specific brewing rivalry in the NFL that I think is going to be a lot of fun if they can keep the coaches, or excuse me, if they can keep the quarterbacks there. And I'll get you a little audio from that because we got the Chiefs and the Bengals, and it's escalating.
I do recall the mayor of Cincinnati having some words.
The mayor of Cincinnati, you've had Joe Burrow throwing some stuff out there. One of the Kelsey brothers. This is the great thing about athletes now. They all have podcasts. Like Draymond Green gets kicked out of a basketball game, goes to the locker room, and just goes straight to a podcast. Just doesn't even shower, just goes straight to the podcast. We'll get into that a little bit this morning because I got some audio from Travis Kelce and from Joe Burrow. Basically calling out Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce saying, you don't call out my quarterback. And I'm going to ask you, if you're looking 5 or 6 years down the road, what is that next big rivalry in sports? What is it going to be? And I think Chiefs-Bengals is the one you're going to get into. So we'll get into that a little bit this morning. I sent Jenna, I put on Twitter on Sunday night after the race a tweet to which I think Jen was more than happy to not see me in studio yesterday morning. I think Jen was more than pleased to come in and just see you and Tyler.
Yeah, and I was following the race, and my guy was in second for a while, and then
he was contending.
And then I seen your guy take over.
Oh, my guy just took over.
And then I stopped paying attention after that. I was like, not winning, I'm not watching.
And I actually, Jen, you'd be kind of proud. I was actually, because we were getting met by my sister and brother-in-law's house, and it was kind of a little bit later. It was a later race. I was actually teaching Austin a little bit about it because when Ross Chastain took a pit stop and fell behind, I explained to him the seconds on the little leaderboard there. So when Ross Chastain took a pit stop and I think fell behind like 24 or it was either 16 or 24 seconds, I forget, he's like, oh, your guy's going to lose. I was like, no, all those guys got to cycle back out. My guy's coming back around. So you would be proud that while I did win and increase my lead, I also was imparting knowledge amongst the youth on how NASCAR works. And I'm going to ask one other question this morning. I'll let you two answer it. When you have something you're very fired up about, when you have a vacation coming up that you're extremely excited about, as our own Jennifer Jensen is, who's heading off to Chicago, when do you officially mentally check out? When do you like, physically, I'm here and I see you, but work is not going to be accomplished because I know Jen is so excited to hit the road on Thursday for this race. Is this a once deal? Is this going to be a yearly thing, the road course race?
I mean, they're going to have to see how it goes. So I don't know.
I mean, you're going to something that might be. So this is not just going to the Indy 500 for you or taking this is a unique experience. So are you still mentally with us? Or are you physically just staring at me, but mentally you're in Chicago on the road right now?
No, I think I'm still mentally here, but I'm also in that mindset of, okay, I need to be. I've got stuff to pack. Going to be doing some stuff. We got the weekend in Chicago, but then going to be doing some stuff back at my mom's house. So it's like that part I'm not excited about. And but as far as the race goes and all that, yeah, I'm excited. and it could be a case of men and women are different. Like my mind is, okay, I've got all these things to do.
Yeah.
I've got packing to do. I have things to do for my business that I need to have up to date, and still have the show to do. And so I think I'm kind of in the prep mode more.
I definitely
I don't check out. I'm not like Bill.
I understand that because as the resident dude in my household, I'm like, let's go. We're ready to go. And my wife's like, oh, we still got a list of things. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess we got to do those. I guess someone has to be responsible. I'm just like, let's load up, let's go.
Yeah, it may be a man woman thing. I have my list.
There might be something. There might be something to that.
I'll ask. Okay, then when do you officially check out at your office when you have an impending vacation? Like what is the final day? Like it's not if you're leaving, say on Friday, you're taking Friday off. Jen's gone. Jen, what are you? You're out Thursday
after the show. I'll go home and I'll head out. That's when I'll check out. Right. I'll be like, okay, I'm done.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm not going anywhere. At least there's no specific plans for next week. But I'm out all next week, just taking days off because I have them and I'm going to use them this year. And not fall for that little trick again. I'm pretty much here. Like I came in this way, I'm in a great mood. I feel great. I'm happy to be here. There's stuff to talk about. We'll get into some stuff, rivalries. Want to know what rivalry, whether it's a NASCAR rivalry, because they talked about that a little bit coming down the stretch there or earlier in the race with Chastain, and I think it was Hamlin that were kind of matched up, and they said that those two kind of keep getting into situations where they're kind of next to each other. We'll talk about that. And by the way, that Ryan Blaney wreck was scary.
Yeah. He hit that hard.
I don't know if you saw that. That was scary. We'll get into that a little bit. We'll talk about the rivalries. Get you a little audio from Patrick Mahomes, or excuse me, from Travis. I think it was Travis, one of the Kelce's.
It's Travis.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Travis.
Travis Kelce.
Jason's the sensible one.
Jason's the one that understands. Football's a violent game. If I say something, I could get hit.
It tracks very well because Travis is the tight end who does not play on the line, who plays receiver. Jason is the one who plays center and realized, I might have to face somebody that I talk trash to.
There you
go.
So
it all makes sense.
We'll get into that a little bit. And then 803-404-6100. When do you mentally check out before a vacation? When do you just call it quits basically at your office and you're just there physically?
Actually, with Bill, it's when are you going to check back in?
Hey, I actually got a very nice email from our sales guy, Josh, yesterday because I was sending emails in regards to vacations and also trying to get our golf tournament set up for the fall, or for August. So I actually was mentally on my A game when I got back into town yesterday. I'll try and keep it that way this morning. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, it's me again with another update. We've got our bleeping main transmitter back. Let over the top. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm gonna ratchet it down a hair. That means you can get back to hearing 107.5 The Game the way you used to. But feel free to continue using the 107.5 The Game app. Either way, no charge whatsoever. We also want to say thank you for your patience and your understanding as we went through all this. I mean, I almost cussed. It was okay. Yeah. I almost lost it as we went through this technical ordeal. I can only imagine how you felt. Seriously, we appreciate you, our loyal listener, from your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
This is Zach Gale with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Texted you guys the list.
Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole derailed the Warriors season a year ago. I thought Golden State moving forward should
just do it sometime in the segment.
That didn't happen with Poole getting traded to the Wizards. Now the expectation is that Draymond will re-sign with the Warriors. But wouldn't it be something if Draymond derailed the Warriors' path once again and signed with, let's say, the Kings? Now that would be a gut punch. I'm Zach Gill.
DQ presents Picture This. You're getting together with all your best friends. Now picture all your best friends are actually the delicious ingredients of the new cake batter cookie dough blizzard. That's DQ soft serve, cake batter flavor, confetti cookie dough pieces, and DQ signature sprinkles. Oh, hey, it sounds like you got some pretty sweet friends. And that's worth cueing the confetti. Cookie dough! The flavor party isn't going to last forever, so hurry in and get your cake batter fix today. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Shop the best deals of the summer now at Lowe's. Freshen up your home inside and out with buy one, get one 50% off on select interior and exterior paints and exterior stains via Lowe's gift card rebate. Plus, save big on select patio furniture and accessories with up to 50% off. Lowe's knows July 4th savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 6/28. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/rebates for details.
Sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Wake up your taste buds with Bluebell Java Jolt, a delicious pint of coffee ice cream with dark chocolate flavored chunks and a decadent coffee fudge swirl. It's the jolt you need to perk up your day.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Walmart Supercenters and neighborhood markets.
Why do you change your car's air filter? Because when it's clogged, it doesn't work. The same is true of your nose, the body's air filter. It's great at trapping allergens, dust, and viruses, but unless you clean it regularly, they can stay trapped, making you miserable. I'm Martin Hogue, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Here's a testimonial from a verified purchaser and a big Navage fan. Quote, I've been suffering for 30 years with chronic sinus infections and allergies. I stumbled across Navage. The suction is amazing. It cleared my sinus cavities better than anything I've tried before. Unquote. Navage has over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Wash your body's air filter with Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for your First Alert Traffic Update with a live check around the region early on. There has not been anything with problems causing major slowdowns or, of course, backups on our heavily traveled roadways and interstates. As we keep on this morning, of course, you keep listening along. We'll make sure to keep you posted of any major changes around the region. Thanks again for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Check. I'm meteorologist Tony Schiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Chen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Summertime means taking some summer family vacations, getting out in that new car, truck, or SUV. And if you don't have a new car, truck, or SUV, and you're thinking about purchasing a brand new one, maybe for the fall, because you're going to have lots of football practices, cheerleading practices, gymnastics, dance. You know, you got something new to get the kids around. You got to go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. You can Visit them on the web as well, lovechevy.com. Love Chevrolet has been in business for over 60 years, taking care of me and the family, you as well. Families all across the Midlands, and they'll continue to do it because they do it the right way, not selling above MSRP, offering you the largest selection of vehicles anywhere in the Midlands, and most importantly, having a sales staff that's ready to help you from the time you drive on the lot to the second you leave, with a huge smile on your face with that brand new vehicle. I'm telling you what, they're friendly, knowledgeable, they're helpful. They explain to you how a car, truck, or SUV can help your day-to-day life. That's why I believe in the folks at Love Chevrolet, why you should go visit them. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park, or you can visit them on the web where you can even speak with a seasoned professional right there. Love Chevrolet. Get out to Love Chevy today and find new roads. I'm trying to look very quickly, but I won't get to it in time. The distance between Kansas City and Cincinnati. Preston, you're a worldwide traveler. You have Jen, that's more of your area too. Can either one of you tell us the distance? Jen's typing feverishly as I ask to get that. You want to guess before Jen gives us the answer?
My geography is very limited in the Midwest.
Okay, I am
a lot of square states. Don't have much for you on the geography of the Midwest.
Jen?
Yeah. It's showing here 588 miles.
Okay, divided by 60. That's how I do it.
They're saying like 8 hours and 49 minutes,
right.
almost 9 hours.
So a little bit of a distance. I mean, it's not the Celtics versus the Lakers of the 80s where you're on one coast versus the other. I don't know if that made it better, the East versus the West.
That makes it better.
Does it?
That makes it better, yeah, because you usually so there's a lot of things that go into rivalries. One of the main factors of a rivalry is geographics, right? How far away is this post? There's always, are they across the river?
Okay,
across the street, next state over. There usually has to be some kind of rivalry geographically, which makes it, you think about high schools, that's always sort of a big thing, the crosstown team or the school that's broken off from your school, the little brother, little sister school or something along those lines. Celtics and the Lakers worked because they were East Coast, West Coast, two different styles of people. We don't get along with them. They don't get along with us.
Mm-hmm.
They eat sushi. We eat Boston chowder. We eat clam chowder. There has to be some sort of distinct differences.
So is this like Cincinnati chili versus Kansas City barbecue, maybe?
Well, that is an option, but I mean, Jen had the Cincinnati, the Skyline chili is very overrated.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think you two have done this before.
Yeah, I'm just very overrated. Kansas City barbecue, very
solid.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I definitely think that's a overwhelming W for Kansas City in that regards. And if there's anybody from Cincinnati out there listening, don't call up and defend your spaghetti. It's basically spaghetti. I don't know.
Spaghetti sauce. There's no noodles. I've never had Skyline chili.
Not a huge fan, but it's their thing, and so that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see where this is going because I'm buying stock in this. Number one, it's two great quarterbacks. I've become a huge fan. I didn't think Joe Burrow was going to be a great NFL quarterback. I thought he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be this. I looked at those wide receivers he had at LSU and how good they made him look. And I was like, I think Joe Burrow. I actually was a huge proponent, Jen might remember this, of the Bengals taking Chase Young as the number one pick. Patrick and I debated that pretty feverishly. Mm-hmm. Patrick was very anti that decision as well, so he's gotten the best of it. But this is Joe Burrow on
Chase is doing well too, though.
This is Joe Burrow discussing a little bit of Pat who?
Being the best in the world. I think that's always been my goal.
Who do you think is the best in the world?
I don't think there's any argument right now. It's Pat. Till somebody has a better year than he's had. He's the one to knock off.
You were asked about the number one player in the NFL. With very little hesitation, you said
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Everybody knows that. Yeah, that's easy. MVP.
He said Pat.
Who said Pat?
Joe.
Pat who?
That was Jamar Chase. That was Jamar Chase backing up his quarterback. Jamar Chase going, Pat who? Oh, boy. And then Travis Kelce, you said the more bombastic of the Kelce brothers, the more willing to get in. Here's Travis Kelce responding to Jamar Chase.
I thought it was a little bold. So the guy's a two-time league MVP, two-time Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
To say Pat Who is like
A little disrespectful.
Who doesn't love some good locker room banter, man? Shout out to Jamar Chase for, holding it down for his QB, but don't you ever disrespect Pat Mahomes now.
Yes. Disrespect. Key component of rivalries, disrespect. Also, I really like to point out that it was Jamar Chase and Travis Kelce who are the ones doing the trash talking, because whenever receivers get touched, it's a penalty, right? Quarterbacks are like, hey, let's be nice to each other, because when quarterbacks get hit, it could end their lives. But, I would always say take wide receivers with what they say with a grain of salt, because they don't get touched.
So whose side would you take? Let's start with this. Is this our sports rivalry of the next several years? Because Burrow, I like Joe. I really come around like he's flamboyant, he's cocky, he's arrogant, but he also kind of, as he said in that piece, you heard him talking about saying, no, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. He also, I think there is a level of respect he has. And then Patrick Mahomes, I think is now what, if you were to do the top 5 athletes in America at this time, LeBron's probably still in there. Mahomes is in there. Burrow's working his way. I don't know who else. If you look, it's hard for me to always say baseball players, because I would say Ohtani is in there, but they don't just get enough publicity. But Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes are probably both in that, but they're respectful. Travis Kelce, Jamar Chase, you're right. You're going to get some of. Usually, it's the defensive end though also gets a little talkative.
It's just the DBs and the wide receivers. Those guys, they like little chihuahuas. They just yip, 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 and then they all beg for penalties whenever something happens to them. But we'll save that for football season. Here's the deal. Joe Burrow is extremely confident. He walks in slow motion. He smokes the cigars. He throws the balls and spins around. I like him. I would love for him to be the quarterback of my team, because he's very, very confident, and he backs his confidence up with his play. But he's not going out there saying he's better than Patrick Mahomes, because he's not at this point. And Patrick Mahomes right now it's tough for me to say it, but he's very much trending towards being, if not the best ever, definitely Mount Rushmore style quarterback. So you have a great component of that rivalry. You have 2 quarterbacks who are young, who are going to be there for a long time. That makes for the big part of what a rivalry actually is. And then the 2 teams are actually both really good. So that's another key component of a rivalry.
And then you got poor Josh Allen just out there in Buffalo, just trying to hang in there. You got 3 great quarterbacks, but I like Cincinnati and I like Kansas City. The reason I brought that up this morning is seeing those 2 back and forth. It was on TV a little bit yesterday. I think in sports, I don't know if baseball can give us I just don't know if baseball's there to have a rivalry that brings us in.
Well, that's the point. You got to have some compelling characters that bring us in. You have to have some folks that make us, because even going back to the Celtics and the Lakers, you had Bird and Magic, 2 very compelling dudes who, you hear all the exploits of Larry Bird talking trash on the court. Magic has $1 million smile. He brings everybody in. Joe Burrow is somebody that can make people pay attention. Travis Kelce makes you pay attention. Pat Mahomes has that strange voice.
Yeah.
Whenever he talks.
Kermit, Froggy.
Very froggy.
Really, he and, oh my gosh, just blanked out his name, Cookie Monster. They need to have like a podcast.
Orgeron?
Yeah, Orgeron. I was like, what's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Cookie Monster and the Frog.
Yeah, that'd be like, bringing back Sesame Street.
So many tie-ins.
It just throws you off whenever I hear Patrick.
That's not what you expect.
Like,
yeah.
Where did that come from? Also, Bill, this is a very good opportunity since it's summertime, and we're here to give one of my hottest takes that I've ever made on the radio.
Save it, because I'll also have a semi-hot take that I want to bring up.
This one's scorching.
Okay. All right. We're gonna. If you're really into sports, and I'll circle back in a little while to the rivalry thing, and we got Preston's also. We got to get into our boat situation from the other day that we went out on the boat, and we've got to go back to Preston's cumulative score in Major League Baseball. We got J.C. Sherbert coming up this morning.
Actually, I have 3 hot takes that we're just going to give next segment.
Okay.
Some sports, some life. I have some takes.
I'm going to ask you something that was like transpired over the weekend, something like that, and what you guys' knowledge of this thing is, because my kids acted like I was a complete moron, more so than Jen does each and every morning. I know. I could tell you were ready for that. 803-404-6100. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Summertime is here. The kids are tracking stuff in, doing all kinds of wild stuff. They're out partying in the front yard, playing basketball, football, and then they track in the grass or dirt, or if it rained last night, the mud. You want to keep your home nice and clean, and the way to do it is with Zerorez. And right now, when you mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, you can save 15% on all cleaning services. Give them a phone call today to take advantage of this deal. 803-262-4020, or you can schedule with ease online, ZerorezColumbia.com, where you can use the promo code Summer Sale. Don't wait any longer. Contact Zerorez today. Their patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep the carpets, the rugs, the tile, the upholstery, everything looking insanely clean, and it's keeping it cleaner longer. So call today, 803-262-4020, or again, schedule online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 15% off your next cleaning service. Don't wait any longer. Contact Zerorez today. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in lab-grown diamonds, by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab-grown 1-carat diamond for just $999, or a 2-carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3-carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, and in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
If you're thinking about retiring soon, be sure to tune in to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby of Preservation Specialists, Sunday mornings at 10. Join Pat as he talks about the latest trends and headlines that could impact your retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 10 to Save Your Retirement with Pat Struby. Securities offered through Arcadios Capital Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Arcadios Wealth. Preservation Specialists and Arcadios are not affiliated through any ownership.
I'm Taylor Bishotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. More good news regarding Brock Purdy's progress as he recovers from elbow surgery. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero reports the 49ers quarterback is one step closer to being ready for the start of the regular season. Purdy is going to be in Jacksonville to throw the next couple of weeks with quarterback coach Will Hewlett and orthopedic specialist Tom Gormley. Kyle Shanahan said earlier this month Purdy is ahead of schedule in his rehab. Even with the loss of Aaron Rodgers, Packers guard Elgton Jenkins still thinks the NFC North runs through Green Bay. Jenkins telling Good Morning Football they have a lot of weapons, adding, quote, "We feel like we're the best team in our division." And free agent Mercedes Lewis is looking to play an 18th season in the NFL and says he feels he still has a lot to offer to a team, saying, quote, "There's no decline in what I'm able to do." This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Staples has everything you need to help run your small business. Shipping supplies and services to help move orders out the door. Print and marketing services so you can print signs, banners, and presentations fast. And now during Staples Small Business Deal Days, you save 50% when you buy any combination of 5 or more boxes, mailers, and shipping tubes. Plus, find new deals for small business in-store every week. Keep your business running right and safe at Staples. Offer valid in-store, online order pickup, and Instacart. Exclusions apply. Not valid in Concord, New Hampshire location. Prices may vary. N71.
Shop the best deals of the summer now at Lowe's. Save up to an additional $1,000 on select major kitchen appliances. And for a limited time, save up to $3,165 on select 4-piece LG kitchen suites. Plus, save on hanging baskets of annuals. Right now, get 2 for just $15. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 6/28. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Hanging basket offer in-store only and excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for your First Alert traffic update with a live check around the region early on. There has not been anything with problems causing major slowdowns or, of course, backups on our heavily traveled roadways and interstates. As we keep on this morning, of course, you keep listening along. We'll make sure to keep you posted of any major changes around the region. Thanks again for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic check. I'm meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 1075 The Game.
6:39 on a Tuesday morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, JC Sherbert coming up in about 20 minutes. A lot of recruiting from the weekend. South Carolina did pick up a commitment yesterday. We'll tell you a little bit about that. LSU hammered Florida last night in the College World Series to claim the national championship. 18-4 was the final. Good night there for LSU. And Preston, we'll get into your hot takes real quick, but you saw LSU and Wake Forest go back and forth throughout the year as the number one team, basically, and that's a ball club, had a lot of personality on it, had obviously some guys who were going to be filthy rich in about 2 weeks, and last night, I don't know what happened on Sunday, game just got away from them, and they threw in the towel, basically, but last night, 18-4, and I didn't even bother trying to make it to the end because it was so dominant. You just knew Florida wasn't going to make any kind of rally there.
Yeah, also, by the end of the year, they've played so much baseball by this point. It's not that it's anticlimactic, but they've played a lot of baseball to this point. So you can see the point where a team may just, once you see it slipping and you maybe they just didn't have anything left in the tank. And that's totally fine because they played a lot of high-level, very intense baseball.
The 4-run fourth put it over. It was 6-2 going into the fourth, and then LSU puts up 4 in the fourth to make it 10-2. And I went, "Yep, that's ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Time for bed." You've got hot takes. You've just been saving them up. Apparently, there's 3 of them.
Yeah, a couple of them. Well, first off, going back to my cumulative series score, the score was 31-26. So the national championship is actually Florida Gators.
Okay, there's that too. Yeah,
by that. So we played 3 games. You played 3 games. You lost by 31-26 cumulative score. Number two.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes. Not a great athlete.
You're getting a lot of there's some by the way, some pushback on wherever you were going with. You were saying Mahomes is trending in the best ever conversation, meaning he has to continue his rise, he has to continue winning, he's not there, but you were insinuating that should he continue down that path, he could be on the Mount Rushmore, but not there yet, right? We might want to clarify that because I feel like early in the morning people got a little confused on that one. We've gotten some text messages saying, "Whoa there, Preston."
Yeah, I mean, he's on his path. He's directly there. And honestly, if somebody was to say that he's there, I don't want to admit it because I feel like it's a little bit too early, but he's very close. He's very close. He's very close. I'd be pressed.
So you're saying they've got the tools out. They're just trying to pick the landscape.
They just got to figure out a spot.
When you say close, you're saying the tools have been presented.
He's very close.
The canvas out there is ready to be worked on. It's just a matter of start date.
I say so. Let me give 2 hot takes. Maybe he's probably Mount Rushmore quarterback. Also, not a great athlete. Not a dual threat. I don't like the way he runs. I don't think he's a very good athlete. I think Joe Burrow's a better athlete than Patrick Mahomes. So Let's go ahead and get it all out on the
I
table.
don't know if I agree with you on that. Just based on it, and he, I mean, did he? What was his baseball career?
Doesn't matter, Bill. This is
Yeah,
a hot take.
Quit baseball. Yeah, he went to Texas Tech to play. I know it's a hot take.
This is a very hot take. So
I was going to say he played football. I was going to say, when did he quit? Did he play? I'm looking to see if he played at all. He did go to Texas Tech to play baseball and football. And I was trying to see if he actually ever played, kind of like Stone Blanton showed up here to play football and baseball and has never stepped on the baseball field. He's now totally focused. I was looking to see if he had any career at bats for Texas Tech. I'll get to that. I don't see any, but I'm trying to confirm that. All right, so hot take 1 was the College World Series.
Cumulative scores.
Okay, hot take 2 is you're going Patrick Mahomes. That's a strong hot take because I don't know if I can agree with that one or even slide to your side on that one. I got to kind of stay away from you on that one. And then hot take number 3.
Let's save hot take number 3 because we still have some sports stuff to do, and this hot take number 3 is not about sports.
Okay, all right. So there is that.
Mhm.
803-404-6100. Look, you've been on a roll this morning because, by the way, a couple people have weighed in. Anonymous texter said, totally agree, man. Skyline Chili may be the most overrated city food staple in the country.
Mm-hmm. Cincinnati, if all you're claiming is Skyline Chili, do better. That's all I'm saying.
That was true.
I mean, they have like their own restaurants. Like,
yeah, it's.
Is it? And I've never been to Philadelphia, but I mean, are have you either you two been to Philly? Is
Yes.
it either okay.
Mhm.
Are the cheesesteaks all they're cracked up to be? Like I know there's the great
you know,
debate.
they're like the two main ones are average. There's some lot better ones that are local established places.
Uh-huh.
There is no better place to get Skyline Chili because it's all
the same.
It's all the same.
Okay, so you're saying the cheesesteaks in Philly, the barbecue in Kansas City.
Yeah, that all tracks.
If we kind of the buffalo wings in Buffalo,
all good.
Okay,
Is it weird that I've never had a Philadelphia cheesesteak?
Zero.
Whoa. Have you been to Philadelphia?
Just the airport.
Okay, makes sense.
So-
No, I mean I've never had one, but that's because I've never been through Philadelphia. Like,
No,
But I mean, other people serve them. Certain.
But Jen, you saying like not even
in your lifetime?
No, in my lifetime, I've never had a Philly cheesesteak.
Do you not like peppers, onions?
I those I like. It's the whole steak part that I'm not as big of a
okay.
like
All right,
and like sometimes like
It's a
and
key
it-
part of the Philly cheesesteak.
It is, yeah. It's and it like an Italian beef. You know, now I did for Father's Day. I did order some Chicago food for Darren, and we did like Portillo's, and they had Italian beef that you could get. You know, and so we actually made that.
Now you're coming
on
in my
Sunday.
wheelhouse.
And I'll have to bring you some. You have to try
Like
it
a good Italian beef.
Yeah, and it's
dip
not bad,
it.
but it has to be shredded. It has to be
Mhm.
shredded for
Would
me.
you-
I don't want it to get too stringy or
Mhm.
something. I'm a little picky on beef. A lot.
Okay, makes sense. All
Remember,
right.
don't you guys remember harassing me because I said that sometimes steak it just tastes like meat, and I'm not a big fan of meat. It's hard to explain, but yeah, I know. I'm
Sometimes
strange.
steak tastes like meat. Put it on the board.
I don't know. No, nobody said
What's
it
the
was
option?
normal.
What's the other option? What
I- you know-
when sometimes steak tastes like meat, what does it taste like the other times?
I want more flavor.
I kind of want to know what it tastes like the other times when you're eating it. Now that I want to know that when it tastes like meat.
I know that sounds about as dumb as it can, and I don't know how else to explain it. I just am not a big like
fair.
roast beef. I'm not.
It's
Yeah,
fair.
no.
But yeah, Philly cheesesteaks in Philly, not from Geno's or there's another one.
Pat's. Thank you.
Geno's
I
and
knew
Pat's.
Pat's. I could remember.
Yeah, Geno's and Pat's. I mean, those are solid. I don't really get down with the cheese whiz. I'm not really here for that.
Oh no.
That's the thing that they do there. But
On the
Really?
cheesesteak?
yeah.
No.
You can't do that.
Yeah, but that's what they do in some of those places. But aside from that, it's cool. It's good. And if you're in Philly and you get the ambiance, all
Yeah,
of that
right.
counts.
Yeah.
But Cincinnati,
I'm just having my own little giggle fest
It's cool.
over here. Well, because just things that are transpiring this morning that like I brought up, like I wanted to get into a hot take about Grimace. If I
Okay.
said Grimace, do you know who
No.
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, yeah, my kids had no clue. Like zero clue.
Yeah, I feel like that whole crew's been phased out.
Yeah, they didn't market them as well. Like,
Yeah.
they did kind of phase
The
out. They were trying to bring it
Hamburglar
back.
kind of
Burglar, the
like
Hamburglar,
Yeah,
Grimace.
he didn't get now we're bringing Grimace's birthday back, and my kids are like, "What is this purple thing?"
It's just for us.
It's
It's,
just like-
not for them.
Well, exactly. That whole retro
So
thing.
I wanted to bring that up, and then I was also going to bring this up because I like the greater than, less than sign. Now you were in education. I was in education for a long time, but on the receiving end of the education, and I never got those. Like if I was to just give you the greater than or the less than,
Yeah.
you know which one's which.
Yeah, obviously.
Jen, do you?
Yeah.
Is it just me that doesn't? I feel like the greater than, less than confuses.
Well, let me make sure I'm.
Yeah, see, you got to think about it.
I don't have to think about it.
No.
I just want to state it correctly.
Okay. So like in this situation, it would be
Pat's over Geno's, right? If the sign is eating Pat's,
there you go.
It's greater than, right? Pat's is greater than. That's how I always learned it. If it's eating, whatever. All right.
Yeah. So basically, in this situation, I look at Preston and I look at Bill. The greater, the wider part of that sideways V would go to Preston. Preston is greater than Bill.
So you're saying my points in the NASCAR Corley Pool Solutions Checkered Flag Challenge would be greater than yours?
Yeah. Exactly.
So the arrow would be not pointing at me. The open side would be facing me.
The open side would be facing you because it's pointing to me.
I'll remember that. That's how I'll remember it from now on. It's always facing me because of how NASCAR is going.
Sportsmanship would be pointing to you, though.
803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Gotta take
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen,
803-404-6100.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Had no idea that it would take so long to refill a kitchen after the flood that we had on Christmas Eve, and everything had to be ripped out. We had to have drywall ripped out. Obviously, that meant cabinets had to be taken out. It's just been such an never-ending process, and it is still continuing. The good news is, though, we do have our cabinets thanks to CHW Cabinetry in Lexington. They've been fantastic. And hey, they're a locally owned business. They're a women-owned business. Love that. And they're doing great things in this community. They helped us find the cabinets that we liked. They helped us with the layout. You had no idea how many little specialty cabinets and things that they have available now. So kind of fun to start getting all of that put together as we put our kitchen back together. But part of the process in figuring out what we were going to do, they put together a photorealistic rendering, and it shows you exactly what the kitchen would look like. And we compared it the other day, and literally the picture of the photo rendering looked just like what our kitchen does now. It's incredible. And that was so helpful to figure out exactly how you want it to look. Cabinets were installed. We're about 2.5 weeks from that being installed. And I couldn't be happier with the installation team, the quality of the cabinets, the design, the whole thing. Now I just really need a lot of help in getting the kitchen filled back in, but that's not their deal. But if you need kitchen cabinets or just cabinets for your home in general, visit chwcabinetry.com for more information or give them a call, 803-520-6837. Make sure to tell them that Jen Jensen sent you. CHW Cabinetry, passion from inspiration to installation.
Sponsored by Molina Healthcare. Feel better with Molina Healthcare.
Hey, I'm Connor Shaw, former Gamecock quarterback. My friends at Molina Healthcare want to help everyone with Medicaid keep their coverage. Molina can answer your questions and help renew your Medicaid coverage. Don't risk losing it. Visit molinarenewyou.com/SC.
Sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and help you save time and money down the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hey, this is Matt Rogers from Hazelwood Brewing Company, the town of Lexington's premier brewery, taproom, and beer garden, conveniently located right on Main Street. Live music, food trucks, and a rotating selection of 10 award-winning handcrafted beers, plus a selection of wine, cider, and beer slushies. Check out hazelwoodbeerco.com and follow on social media for a current list of what's happening. hazelwoodbeerco.com. Hazelwood, it's all good in the wood.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of tiny little germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping flush out everything that makes you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Doug, a verified Navage user who writes, I had difficulty for years breathing through my nose. After using Navage, my whole breathing has changed. My sinuses don't hurt and no more stuffy nose. It's an amazing product. Unquote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
In today's digitally driven world, the internet has become more than just a convenience or a luxury. Among other things, it keeps family members connected with loved ones, workers connected with their jobs, and students connected with their instructors and lessons. That's why the U.S. government created the Affordable Connectivity Program, also known as the ACP. This program provides eligible low-income families with discounts of up to $30 a month to help pay for their internet service. And here at FTC, we're proud to participate in this important program. FTC urges all eligible households to take advantage of this helpful program. To learn more about the ACP and to see if you qualify, visit acpbenefit.org. Potential applicants can also get more information by calling the ACP helpline at 877-384-2575. That's acpbenefit.org or call 877-384-2575.
Sponsored by Family Dollar.
Celebrate big this summer while saving more with Family Dollar. Find a great variety of decorations and accessories to set the party mood. Plus, everything for the grill and your favorite drinks at great prices. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for your First Alert traffic update with a live check around the region early on. There's not been anything with problems causing major slowdowns or, of course, backups on our heavily traveled roadways and interstates. As we keep on this morning, of course, you keep listening along. We'll make sure to keep you posted of any major changes around the region. Thanks again for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic check. I'm meteorologist Tony Chiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence, knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
6:56 on a Tuesday morning. I've very rarely seen Preston get as fired up as he did and excited as I just read this text message, because Preston's hot take is this morning. One of his hot takes as we kind of help stoke the flames of this Bengals Chiefs rivalry. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Preston saying Mahomes not a great athlete. Richard weighs in and says, I would argue Mahomes not a great body, but I wouldn't say not great athlete. Dude can throw. He'd be a better runner if he were in better shape, and he can hoop.
He's shaped like a pear. He's heavy-footed. If you were picking teams like kickball, you wouldn't pick Patrick Mahomes first. You'd pick him down the line. You'd be like, that guy with the funny voice and the weird hair, pear-shaped, pick him later on down the line. And then he would go on the other team and then absolutely destroy you because he's amazing. But you wouldn't pick him first. That's all I'm saying. Richard, that's all I was trying to say, and I appreciate you confirming what I've known in my heart for a long time.
Richard finishes finishes. He says, as he's become more of a pocket passer, he's gained weight and gotten slower.
Thank you, Richard. Simpatico.
We're out of time for this hour, but that's we might have to revisit that later. JC Sherbert due up. Gamecocks got a commitment yesterday. We'll tell you about that and more. Hour 2 is on the way.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock Athletics Director Ray Tanner, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game,
a Cumulus media station.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
If you're suffering and there's a safe, natural, easy-to-use solution to help make you feel better, wouldn't you at least want to try it? That's why millions of people use Navage Nasal Care to help relieve their symptoms of sinus congestion, allergies, snoring, and other nasal-related problems. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping flush out everything that makes you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Candace, a verified Navage user who writes, "This is the greatest invention ever made. I truly can't believe the difference and the relief it has made in my sinus problems. Thank you," unquote. Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Managing your online presence takes time, effort, and expertise. It can overwhelm even the savviest business owner. So, meet Cumulus Boost. We're experts at boosting the online presence for businesses of every type. We make sure potential customers can easily find you and really like what they find. Your website, online listings, consumer reviews, and more. Cumulus Boost. Online at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS Boost.com.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in lab-grown diamonds, by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab-grown 1-carat diamond for just $999, or a 2-carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3-carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington and in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
67 days till kickoff.
Winner of Chevrolet's Mark of Excellence Award for Best in-Class Customer Experience. Maybe that's what Love customers love so much about Love Chevy.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, celebrating the incomparable Silverado. For the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Find yours at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
I'm calling JC.
Or Jen Jensen.
So anything you need, rain gauges and deer whistles, Jen's here for you. Preston's here on incredible football discussion.
Bill Gunter.
And I can help you with coffee and donuts.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
We've got a quality group here that knows how to cover all the bases.
107.5.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
The Game.
Up and at 'em on a Tuesday morning. Preston Dorn, Bill Gunner, Jennifer Jensen, kind of counting down her hours until she's off to Chicago this coming weekend. Preston and I will actually kind of have that marked on Sunday to be tuned into different stuff that's completely different like that. I'm all in on. And the street race, Jen, I was watching it this weekend. They were showing the NASCAR race, and they had a on-site reporter up there in Chicago.
He used to be a driver.
Kind of, yeah, sure. And they were showing the track and how everything would work. Of course, they already had the stands set up.
Mhm.
I'm kind of, yeah, I've got mark me down. I'm kind of excited about this
Am
street
too.
race this weekend.
And where we're going to be is where they were showing, there's a section where you see Buckingham Fountain, and like we'll be facing the fountain.
Okay.
Because we'll be kind of between like the start finish and the first turn. So I'm sure they're anticipating a lot of activity in that first turn, so we'll see.
A man who knows all about NASCAR racing or just racing the streets of Chicago, JC Sherbert, who's up there now. JC, any chance that these rumors of you sliding into a NASCAR this weekend and taking on Ross Chastain, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, all the boys this week, any chance that those rumors are indeed true?
No, I'm actually going to be heading south this weekend. And she did mention Buckingham Fountain. I wanted to point out those that watched the show Married with Children back in the day, Al Bundy, those folks.
Yep.
The fountain at the beginning of that show, that's Buckingham Fountain.
Correct. Because the show is based in Chicago, right? Or the
It's
suburbs.
based in Chicago,
Yeah.
Polk High. Yeah, I think one of the northern suburbs. But, I mean, I don't know. Up here, it's kind of controversial, as is anything. I mean, I think it's going to make downtown a complete cluster for a long period of time. But, they say it's going to bring in a lot of money for the city, and I guess as if they don't have enough. So we'll see. But certainly, I'm with you. I heard you talk about it. I think it's intriguing, but it's just not something I would go to. The Air and Water Show.
Yeah.
That and no interest. I mean, I'd probably. I mean, I went to the White Sox game on a Saturday, and we took the metro and the train in, and that was crowded enough. I mean, for me, I was like, I can't imagine what it's going to be like for that NASCAR race.
It's going to be. But we talked about it last week, and Jen and I and Preston will make our picks for the next 2 weeks, since I'll be out all of next week. Next Thursday, we'll make our picks for the next 2 weeks coming up this coming Thursday. But the Nashville race this past weekend was a lot of fun. And this race, because it's so different, because I mean, Jen, in all honesty, in Chicago's a neat place to have it. I think there was a reason they were explaining that. But there's never been a NASCAR race, anything similar to what they're doing. Correct?
No, there was a race a long time ago, but it wasn't just in the streets of Chicago. It kind of like started and finished in Chicago, but yeah, nothing on the streets. And again, I think they're going to have to weigh the pros and the cons. Like, is this something they can? I mean, there's other cities that they've done this in. It's not like this is a new concept to have a street race. Sometimes it's been someplace where it incorporates part of an airport or runways and stuff like that.
I believe
Not
the winner of that original race was Al Capone, as he got away from the police officers. That was the original street race of Chicago back in the day. JC, the other thing there's so many things we have. I'll save the one thing for the next segment, but let's go back. South Carolina did pick up a commitment yesterday in football. 4 uncommitted guys coming into the recruiting weekend, and last night South Carolina picks up a safety out of Savannah.
Yeah, Bucci. I think it's Bucci. Like
there's a reason I didn't say his name. I was hoping you would get it first. Preston,
hanging out to dry here. No, but he's a good player. I mean, he's the type of guy that's very physical. As Will Muschamp used to say, sticks his face in the fan and likes it. He could be anywhere from a solid special teams and a role player to a starter that's surprisingly good at South Carolina. I think guys like him, you need those guys that are kind of glue guys on your roster. And, I think the fact that Torian Gray and Clayton White evaluated him as a nickel, that means they're pretty solid with his coverage skills and, as well as how he can play the run. So, those guys have a pretty great track record of evaluation. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if he ends up being, a lot better than maybe people think when we see him play. He's from the Savannah area where Michael Smith is from, the 4-star tight end commit. And they also have at his school, a pretty big time D tackle for 2025, Elijah Griffin. So never a bad option to recruit a guy out of a school that you want to get another guy out of the following cycle. So good pickup for the Gamecocks. I don't think it'll be the last one from this weekend, but it was the first one, and certainly he's a worthy player, and looking forward to seeing how he develops.
Preston, you hear that kind of size linebacker in high school. JC, that's right. He's a linebacker in high school, but he's being recruited as a safety. Preston, how hard is it? What is easier, to make the adjustment from safety down into the box at linebacker, or to go from linebacker? And JC, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of as how he profiles as a high school prospect, but going from linebacker and sliding back to safety.
Well, that's a really interesting concept, because more often than not, people move down and closer to the ball as they get up in age, right? Because you get slower. You get slower, and you just can't play in all those spaces. So for him to be moving out, and as JC said, he's evaluated as a nickelback, that's really interesting to me. And I wonder what type of linebacker he plays, because now that defenses are so multiple, he could be playing linebacker now, but really he's actually removed from the box and covering a lot of folks anyway. So JC, is that more so what he does? I haven't watched any film on this young fella. Is that more so what he is?
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy now. Most of his film, he's up around the line of scrimmage, but he does seem to kind of play a hybrid role. And they worked him out at camp and had him do all the coverage stuff, and he was good at it. So, I think that's a fair assumption. Will he play on the back end like Emin Ware or Jalen Kilgore? I'd say probably not. I definitely don't think he's a corner, but he's a guy that can play in the box. I guess that we've had a few around here. Rashad Faison type of role, the spur, if you will, in the 4-2-5 defense. So I think that's kind of what they like him as. And in high school, he runs around all over the place at the high school level. But it's just, Preston, it's a little hard to tell just because they don't always play the best competition where he's at. He's just kind of a ball player. So that's kind of what I think. But yeah, you're right. Normally you're moving up, you're not moving back. But I think one of the guys that did that successfully, but he wasn't a linebacker. He's a runner. It was Antoine Naismith. I remember when he moved over to safety, and you kind of went, well, he's a bigger guy or whatever. But boy, he was really good back there. So. That's the one thing I can kind of think of. I think Sky Moore, when he was at Carolina, could have definitely been a safety. But, we'll see what happens with it. But I do like him at that nickel spot. And I think when you put as many DBs on the field as South Carolina does in their defensive scheme, and you really want that versatility, especially at the nickel position. And, you need guys that can hold up against the run. That's been a problem with this defense, and he certainly can.
Yeah, and it's not really splitting hairs, but sometimes that spur nickel position, however you want to call it, sometimes that guy is more of a run stopper first, then he's a pass guy, or sometimes. So if I think about Antonio Allen versus Holloman was more of a thumper, kind of coming up to the line, whereas Antonio Allen was more of a DB. They both played the same position, but depending on your skill set, you might favor one or the other. So yeah, as you said, it depends on what he's good at, what his body type is, and if he's a guy who actually does like to hit, that does count for a lot also.
Yeah, and then like Darian Stewart was kind of in the middle of
there you go.
Too, if you think about it, with those three quote unquote spurs right there in the Ellis Johnson era. But yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Excited to see how he pans out and stuff. I think at the very least he's going to be a really valuable kid on special teams, probably from the moment he gets to Carolina. So that's a good thing. Just looking at how physical he is and how athletic he is and all of that. Those guys really help your return units and coverage units and things like that.
Again, last night, South Carolina, yesterday, South Carolina picking up a commitment. David, are we going with Busey? As in Gary Busey?
Yeah, I guess. Like Gary Busey.
David Busey, 6'1", 200-pound linebacker, slated to be more of a secondary player for South Carolina, safety or nickelback, out of Savannah Christian Prep down in Savannah, Georgia, as part of the 2024 class. Chose the Gamecocks over Iowa State, West Virginia, Appalachian State, just to name a couple there for them. So we'll get into that a little bit, obviously, but also some of the bigger names from the weekend. Dylan Stewart, obviously the name everybody wants to talk about a little bit. Hale McGranahan with some write-up on him in the VIP room last night on thebigspur.com. We'll talk about Dylan Stewart. We'll also get into Jonathan Paylor, the 4-star wide receiver that was on campus this weekend. Some big names for the Gamecocks, and get JC's take on those. And I got to ask him, does he know what Grimace was? Because Preston did bring that up, JC. I'll ask you that. So you get the break to try and figure it out. The McDonald's character Grimace. What exactly was Grimace? I'll ask you that when we come back. It's the early game. Yeah, think about that one there. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Have you missed any of the early game?
You can catch up by going to the early game on demand page at 107.5.
Grimace is perfect because he's non-binary and all that crap.
107.5 The Game app on iTunes or Google Play.
Yes, the good conversation. Grimace, the Hamburglar, all those secondary characters to Ronald McDonald. You know what? Growing up, love it. You'd go through there, you'd get your Happy Meal, you'd come home, sit on the floor, and you'd watch cartoons or something, and you'd probably make a mess. And back then, your parents, after you'd smushed fries into the carpet, maybe a little ketchup stain from the hamburger, from the chicken nuggets, your parents weren't happy. They didn't have Zero Res like we do now as parents, because you can call Zero Res with their patented ZR water technology, scientifically proven to keep your carpets, your rugs, your tile, your upholstery all insanely clean. And of course, the ZR water technology does not leave behind a sticky, soapy residue, no harsh chemicals, so the kids can roll around on it. The pets, you can feel safe with the pets on it. Zero Rest has been taking care of my home. They'll do the same for you. Take advantage of their summer sale going on right now. Contact them 803-262-4020 and schedule that cleaning. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 15% off all cleaning services. That's right. Again, mention me when you make the phone call, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, and you'll save 15% on all cleaning services. You can also book online with ease, ZeroResColumbia.com. Use the promo code SUMMERSALE when booking online. So again, two easy ways to do it. A phone call, 803-262-4020, or online at ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
This is Zach Gelb with CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. DeMarcus Lawrence told the AP that he doesn't feel like there's a big gap between the Eagles and Cowboys. Lawrence isn't wrong when it comes to the regular season, but in the playoffs, the gap is massive. Dallas during the last two postseason runs had their defense step up, but were failed by their quarterback. And until Dak Prescott elevates his game in January, Dallas will continue to disappoint and won't go to a Super Bowl like Philly did a year ago. I'm Zach Gelb.
CBS Sports Radio. Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save $100 when you buy the Flex 24-volt brushless impact driver kit for just $99. That's 50% off the original price. Plus, you'll also find Southwire Romex Simpul 250-foot wire for just $109. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 7/20 while supplies last.
Sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey DQ fans, do you love cake batter? Well, cue the confetti because the new Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat is here with cake batter flavor, confetti cookie dough pieces, and DQ signature sprinkles in every bite. Only at participating DQ locations. Happy tastes good.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service, Guy Gant's company. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are the Gant girls. You know, Chelsea and Madison. You know some of the things they do at Pioneer Tree Service? Tree and shrub removal, tree pruning and thinning, tree planting, tree bracing, raising tree canopies, stump grinding removal, storm damage services, property cleaning and grading, demolition and rock removal, right-of-way maintenance. You got to get in touch with these people. 803-794-8253. Let me give you that again. 803-794-8253. Call right now and get a free estimate. For the most challenging jobs, Pioneer Tree Service. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service.
803-794-8253. Or find us online at pioneertreesc.com.
Call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Guys, got hair loss? I know what you're thinking. Should I shave my head, comb it over, wear a hat? Just stop. This isn't 1970. Keep your hair and your confidence, because Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. Check them out today, because they're giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to anyone that texts AWESOME to 200-300. Dude, you don't have to look like your dad, because this isn't your dad's hair loss treatment. People all over the country trust Bosley because they're ahead of the curve. They use the latest technology to give you your real hair back. And the best part? Bosley's permanent solution is protected by the Bosley Guarantee. Let Bosley show you for free how awesome your hair could look with an absolutely free information kit and a gift card for $250 off. Text AWESOME to 200-300. That's AWESOME to 200-300.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got the Rich Eisen Show podcast.
Whenever I drive separately with Susie, you always have to go first. So sure enough, I pull into the garage. She's not even here yet, which allows me now the opportunity to stand there, just holding the door open, like the gentleman that I am. And I snapped a photograph of Susie's reaction, and there it is. How did you get here?
The Rich Eisen Show podcast, wherever you listen.
Sponsored by Molina Healthcare. Feel better with Molina Healthcare.
With Molina Healthcare, you get a health plan with lots of great benefits, including a large network of quality providers. And that makes it easier to find the right doctor for you. For the care you need close to home, choose Molina. Learn more now at meetmolinasouthcarolina.com.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for your First Alert traffic update with a live check around the region early on. There has not been anything with problems causing major slowdowns or, of course, backups on our heavily traveled roadways and interstates. As we keep on this morning, of course, you keep listening along. We'll make sure to keep you posted of any major changes around the region. Thanks again for listening. This has been a WIS First Alert traffic check. I'm meteorologist Tony Schiavaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Make sure you go and check out 1075thegame.com. Sweet deals. You can check out our craft beer passport, $285 value. It only cost you $99. The craft beer passport, good at over 15 locations. You can check out all the locations at 1075thegame.com. Again, it is our sweet deals. You can visit 1075thegame.com. It is the craft beer passport, a $285 value that will only cost you $99. Go and check that out on 1075 The Game. Again, the craft beer passport you can purchase as part of our sweet deals. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. It was a big weekend of recruiting for South Carolina, kind of the last big official visit weekend of the summer. It involved a cookout as well. And JC, obviously the name that everybody's going to want to know about and update. And there's some update, not a major one yet, but Dylan Stewart, the 5-star defensive end out of Friendship Academy, a place where South Carolina has had some success so far in the D.C. area. Again, 6'5", 240 pounds, considered the number 13 national player overall by 24/7 Sports, number 3 edge player released a top 5 before coming to campus. South Carolina, Georgia, Ohio State, Miami, and Maryland made it in there, I think, as kind of a nicety to the Terrapins, because I don't really think they're involved. But where do you come out of this weekend? What do you hear? What do you kind of read? As Dylan Stewart did appear to move up his timeline to potentially making a commitment in the month of July.
Yeah, I think it's possible he's committed by the end of summer. I think, I like where Carolina stands. With anybody like that's this good, you're always going to, I guess, for lack of a better term, you're going to have some challenges, and you're going to have, some stiff competition. And there's a lot that goes into it. I think South Carolina's done a great job building a relationship with his family. I think they're the favorite coming out of the visit, but there's a long way to go, and recruitments like this can take a lot of twists and turns, as we all know. And so I always say there's no locks in recruiting. So I certainly wouldn't say a lock. And I don't think that Carolina's lead is large enough right now to just say they'll coast to the finish line. I think there's work to be done. But hey, they can get there, and it would not surprise me at all if the Gamecocks end up with him.
In this scenario, do you want to be? You and I have had this discussion, and Preston, I'll kind of get your take on it from what you remember about recruiting and how people recruited you. But JC, real quick, do you want to secure the summer commitment where everybody? I know you always want to say you want guys committed. You'd rather have them committed, not committed. But where if South Carolina gets the commitment, Ohio State's in his ear, Georgia's in his ear, Miami's in his ear, all telling him how bad South Carolina is, as opposed to having to recruit against each other, so to speak, if he stays uncommitted, kind of like Nick Harbor did. JC, which direction would you lean? That's okay.
Yeah. The idea is not to be bad. I mean, that's, don't let them say how bad you are. Have a good season. I think obviously Nick Harbor's decision, I always thought Carolina was in a good spot, but obviously he didn't really make that final call until the end. And certainly teams had a lot to beat the Gamecocks up over. He was, his official visit was for the Georgia game, which obviously did not turn out all that well from a number of reasons. I mean, stadium was empty by halftime. So guys flip for sure, but kind of knowing what I know about the situation, I don't think he's a candidate to flip at all. I think once he makes a decision, if it is South Carolina, I don't see that being a concern. I would want to get him in the boat sooner rather than later, to continue to build momentum for the class and all that good stuff. Because some of these that last a long time tend to go the Gamecocks' way for sure. Jordan Birch came. Nick Harbor obviously was a big late one. Jadeveon Clowney was a late one. Marcus Lattimore was a late one. But there's been some that have been earlier that have stuck too. Zach Pickens comes to mind. So I would kind of think of Stewart a little more, his recruitment a little more like Zach's. I think that if he does make that call, he'll stick to it and come on to Carolina.
Preston, did you remember negative recruiting when you smile and shake your head like those? I mean, what can you talk
Bill,
about?
Must I remind you, I committed to the University of South Carolina when we were 0-11. There was not a need for negative recruiting. All they had to do is just say, "You sure you want to do that?
Need a warm body."
Yeah. So, yeah, the idea of negative recruiting is a thing, but as JC said, you could just point to how the team is doing and things of that nature to prove other teams. But also the other point, and I know JC's seen this, is there's nothing more ridiculous than a 17 or 18-year-old 5-star ego. So the concept of, they got blown out at the Georgia game, that didn't mean anything to Nick because he's like, when I come here,
right,
it's going to be all different.
You've mentioned the offensive lineman that made it through about a week. It was rounding everybody up.
Of course, they're going to be like, this is all going to be different when I get here. So, and the coaches sort of play on that too. Like, man, you saw what happened. We need you here for the changes. So they can always play that sort of both ways.
Yeah, like fans don't understand this a lot because they live and die with every game, like we all do, But recruits don't think that. They're not fans, They're sure. Like, I think when you're dealing with a younger crowd, in other words, like, gosh, I can't remember if Dylan was on campus for a game last year or not, but when you're dealing with juniors, yeah, it's best not to get blown out. It's best to have an atmosphere like the Tennessee game last year where you get a big win, and that kind of plants the seed as their recruitment gets serious. So I think results tend to kind of influence younger players more than guys that are on the cusp of a decision. The guys like Preston said, they're not living and dying with every game. They're kind of thinking forward and going, well, they're watching their position and going, oh, well, they definitely need help there. So I can come right in and get some snaps and turn this thing around. And that's kind of the mindset of recruits more so than that. Because every time, there's a bad loss or something, it's like, well, how many recruits are going to, leave and stuff like that, or any kind of bad news. Fans are like, they immediately think it'll impact recruiting. I had a fan when Garrett Riley was hired at Clemson go, well, that's the end of the in-state recruiting run. How many are going to flip to Clemson? I'm like, I don't think Marquis Anderson cares that Garrett Riley's the new offensive coordinator at Clemson. Lonnie Teasley didn't go there. So I think it's just funny sometimes how the mindset's different with recruits than it is with everybody else.
I've heard a story. I think it was Rusty Manziel tells this story, and JC, you might remember it a little bit better. AJ Green from Somerville grew up basically wanting to go play at Georgia. That was kind of, once he got the offer, it was all but a done deal. And he was in the stands, I believe, during an Alabama game. I want to say it was the night game in which Georgia came out. Do you guys remember this? Georgia came out in the all-black jerseys.
Okay.
If you remember this, they came out. It was like 38-0. It was like the beginning. It was it was one of the early Saban games, and Saban, they went in there. I think Georgia painted the end zone. Georgia was written in black, and they had the black jerseys. And at halftime, it was like 38-0. And I think, JC, you might remember this better than I do. I think it was Rusty Manziel said that AJ Green called him and said, hey, the Georgia fans need something positive. Announce I've committed during the game. Like that. And that's to y'all's point. Like, he's there watching Georgia just get smashed in the face by Alabama, and it looks around and is like, well, we need something positive. If I commit, maybe people will feel a little bit happier about it. But that's to both of y'all's point about guys when they go on campus to watch games, they don't view it through the same lens as fans do.
Yeah. Now I remember that game. I was actually at South Carolina. was playing UAB that night, so I was at Carolina UAB, and you got the score of Bama Georgia. It was 33-0 at halftime, and Georgia came back. It was 41-30 was the final. Georgia kind of took advantage of a prevent defense and some stuff like that. That was a weird year because that was 2008. That was Matt Stafford's senior season. So Georgia was supposed to be pretty good.
Is Matt Stafford that old?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he went pro after that year, 2008, because I remember the 2008 Carolina Georgia game. Georgia was ranked like third in the country because they had staff. There's been twice that Georgia's had like a senior quarterback or not a senior, an older quarterback, and a lot of guys coming back where they've sort of face planted. And one was in 2004 when David Green and those guys and Pollock and those guys were seniors, and they ran into Auburn and Cadillac Williams and Roddy Brown and all those guys, and it cost them. And then 2008 they got beat by Bama and I think a couple of other teams, and were kind of, I guess, 10-3-ish, something like that. But yeah, I remember that Georgia game pretty well, and I remember AJ Green committing during that time too. So it was good for AJ.
803-404-6100. We'll get into some running back recruiting when we come back. Plenty to do this morning, and Preston's got to head on out, so we'll continue on with JC Sherbert. We'll have Preston back tomorrow. A lot to get to as we roll along.
Also, JC, I still need you to, I'm going to be listening while I'm driving. What is Grimace?
Yes. We got to get to it. Yeah. What exactly
is?
We'll do that when we come back. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
It's me again with another update.
we've got our bleeping main transmitter back. That over the top. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm gonna ratchet it down here. That means you can get back to hearing 107.5 The Game the way you used to. But feel free to continue using the 107.5 The Game app. Either way, no charge whatsoever. We also want to say thank you for your patience and your understanding as we went through all this. I mean, I almost cut.
This promo is so long.
Okay, yeah. I almost lost it as we went through this technical ordeal. I can only imagine how you felt. Seriously, we appreciate you, our loyal listener, from your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Real quick, this is Preston Thor for Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. Cracked windshields, no problem. They'll come out to your location and replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. So if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows and mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of all of that for you. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosures. You hear me say on the radio all the time, if you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass could do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day. Shop weekly sales and get personalized coupons to get the most value out of every trip, every time, whether you shop in-store or online. Download the Kroger app now to save big. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Must have a digital account to redeem offers. Restrictions may apply. See site for details.
Save big on your favorites with the Buy 5 or More, Save $1 each sale. Simply buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone. Let's do this together.
And I'm Steven Samuels. When you're hurt at work, my team is with you from start to finish. We're people with a passion for helping injured workers. Bring your case to us and stop the worry. We've got this.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Can you imagine being a superhero?
With a sidekick?
Can you imagine you can fly?
Your sidekick shows up wherever you are.
In a fancy blue truck.
And whatever you point at disappears.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your sidekick.
We're twitching in anticipation.
Vibrating with energy.
We haul away whatever you point at.
Any home or apartment.
Workplace or job site.
We're industrial strength sidekicks.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Blow off the boat trip. Cancel the cookout. 4th of July blowout going on now at Galliana Kia on Greystone. Gotta go. Get a smoking deal on a new Kia with 0% financing. Plus, you can win a free TV just for walking in. No purchase necessary. A free TV just for coming in. 2023 Kia Rio LX, just $16,990. That's right, a new Kia for $16,990. Remember, we buy old cars in any condition. All trade-ins are welcome. And at Galliana Kia, our lenders offer credit forgiveness. New Kias at huge discounts and 0% financing. Plus, a chance to win a free TV. Gotta go. Summer sales event at Galliana Kia on Greystone. I-126 Sioux Exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or KiaColumbia.com. Rio stock number 3K1127. Plus tax and tax. Includes 225 closing. To qualify by 4166 per month per thousand borrow for 24 months at 0 APR with 0 down. Subject to lender approval, 1 TV and 3 per year. Drawing to be held July 31st.
The Craft Beer Passport. It's not just any beer, it's a craft beer. Make that 2 choice craft beers at 17 fine breweries. It's a value of $285 and you pay just $99. That's 38 beers for $99. It's not just any deal, it's a sweet deal. The Craft Beer Passport. You'll find it at 1075thegame.com.
There's no better place to catch a game on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Visit thegamecockclub.com today to secure your tickets. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
And take a look at those traffic conditions out there this morning. We do have a report of a fallen tree, Highway 378 at Pineview Road. So caution there. Watch out for that fallen tree. Highway 378 there at Pineview Road. And we also have an accident to let you know about. And that's I-20 westbound at Wilson Boulevard. Hot and dry weather will be settling in for the week. And we are looking for a high today of 92. And we're looking for a high pretty much the same for most of the week. 93 tomorrow, 95 on Thursday. So summer, I think it's here. 71 right now at 1075 The Game.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 1075 The Game.
Eight 803-404-6100 if you got a question for JC Sherbert on recruiting as he is joining us. I do want to mention this. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it in the next hour, but I did want to give a shout out or mention last night, obviously College World Series wrapping up 18-4 LSU wins. In the WNBA, you had a matchup of number one picks, both from South Carolina. Aaliyah Boston was fantastic last night, 20 points, 14 rebounds. Couldn't get it done though. She runs into the Las Vegas Aces, who are just red hot, 13-1 on the season. Asia Wilson, yeah, she was not to be outdone. 24 points and 10 rebounds last night. So a matchup of former Gamecock All-Stars, just standout, some of the best athletes we've seen come through the university, regardless of sport, last night between Aaliyah Boston, who with the Indiana Fever, 20 points, 14 rebounds, but they lose to Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces 88-80. Wilson last night with 24 points and 10 rebounds. I'll mention that more in hour number 3, but did want to point that out because JC, I mean, that's pretty cool to see not just two number one picks go against each other and put on their best efforts, but both of them be former Gamecocks.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would even look at the box score for that one. So
yeah. The
I don't,
the
WNBA is not on my radar, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a lot going on, so. But I agree. I agree. I mean, it's always good to have that publicity, and Dawn Staley's done a great job with the program, and those two girls are outstanding players and human beings. And any other great accolades you can lay on them, and they seem to be at the top of their game in the professional ranks. So Asia Wilson, I know the Las Vegas Aces have been pretty successful since she's been out there. So congrats to them. And if you have to, if I had to talk WNBA today, I'm glad we talked about two Gamecocks having outstanding performances.
Oh, well, that's the fact that it was those two is why I mentioned it. 803-404-6100. So yes, what was Grimace? Anonymous Sixer says, wasn't Grimace an orange or red, lumpy, grouchy looking thing? Well, he's purple.
Mm-hmm.
It was purple, I reckon.
It's just kind of a purple mound.
Yeah, my kids are, I think, horrified of this, JC. Do you remember Grimace from back in the day and the Hamburglar? And I don't know what other characters were along with this goofball
Mayor
bunch.
McCheese.
Oh,
I can't believe you're forgetting about Mayor McCheese. Mayor McCheese
See?
means a lot to me. I mean, Mayor McCheese is the most noble character in all of McDonaldland.
There you go.
I can't believe you forgot about him. I have a Mayor McCheese poster.
Do you
on
really?
my show studio. Yes, of course. Mayor McCheese means a lot to me. Anyway, I think Grimace, and I sort of cheated on this because I saw the questions floating around. It wasn't from the show, from y'all's show today. It was like a general question, like, what is Grimace? And so I looked it up. It took them until 2021 to uncover this piece of magic. He's a taste bud, a gigantic taste bud.
What?
For real?
What were people?
I thought it was just like a bad home ec costume.
What was happening in the room that decided this marketing? Like, what was being smoked?
So if something doesn't taste good, then you make a grimacing face. But then why would you want to associate that with your food brand?
I don't know why you call it Grimace. I mean, and then the character wasn't even like a negative character. It was just a goofy, like, kind of thing.
Yeah, in a terrible costume.
In a terrible costume, but Grimace is beloved by children of all ages. So, let's not go off on Grimace. But I just, I agree. I mean, all those McDonaldland things, man. It's just like, I don't know what was happening in the room, because you start with a clown and you work your way back from there.
Well, and I did
Let's have a big hamburger head mayor. The Fry Guys. I mean, wow. Birdie the early bird.
Are you looking at? Are you doing the same thing that I'm doing on Wikipedia? Because there's no way you knew all this.
Oh no, I'm out on my porch.
Okay.
I'm doing this from memory, Bill. McDonaldland is a subject that I'm mad because they got sued, and this is why McDonaldland went away, because the creator apparently of HR Puffin Stuff said that they jacked all of his characters.
This is true. I'm reading this right now. I cannot. I am on Wikipedia, and JC's got it. By the way, did y'all know that Grimace had an uncle? Uncle O'Grimacy.
Oh, for the Shamrock Shake?
Shamrock Shake, yeah.
The Shamrock Shake,
Yep. But I did see that in something else back in 2012, McDonald's tweeted from their account that Grimace was the embodiment of a milkshake, while others are still insisting he's a taste bud. So that must be the next.
Well, that's a debate.
Boy, I tell you what,
we
better nail down the facts on that.
If you've got about an hour to waste today, if you just want an hour, go hop on the Wikipedia McDonaldland website, because I forgot about this dangerous, whatever you want to call it, at McDonaldland. Officer Big Mac's climb in jail playground. That was that thing where you could put someone in jail and then you just throw the balls in the ball pit at them, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, bro. I know. I was in the jail when I was a kid. We had one in Spartanburg. I climbed up. I couldn't fit in it now, obviously. I don't think you could either, Bill. I'm not going to make a smart comment there, but it's I remember those fondly. I think that's just part of McDonaldland. I mean, I had my birthday party at McDonald's when I was 5, and all the characters. Had Ronald come out. My fiance's scared of clowns, but I can't. I got my picture taken with Ronald McDonald at the U.S. Army All-American game in 2013. I have a nice framed picture, and I'm not allowed to put it up because he's scared of clowns. But anyway, that's fine. But all that stuff. But Mayor McCheese, that's my boy as far as the McDonaldland characters go, and I think he's severely underrated in the grand scheme of things. But those things were trippy if you start thinking about it. I mean, those just kind of, you look back and you go, wow.
There was Captain Crook. He promoted the Filet-O-Fish sandwiches.
Absolutely. And then the McNuggets came along, and they were like their own, like they were just personified McNuggets in dipping sauce.
There's you a trip down memory. I'm telling you, this stuff, now that I go back and look at everything, is horrifying. And JC's right. There was the Fry Kids, Birdie, the Early Bird, the Yellow Bird.
That's the breakfast.
Yeah, the Happy Meal Gang, Uncle O'Grimacy, Cosmic, was the McNugget Buddies.
Uncle O'Grimacy is a Chicago. You see, McDonald's is based in Chicago, so it's a Chicago thing. Because everybody up here has an Irish uncle.
You're exactly.
So they had to find a way to promote the Shamrock Shake. I mean, give him an Irish uncle from the South Side.
I was just looking at some of these.
Hand me a Polish sausage and a beef.
This was a little bit past our time, but I Am Hungry. a short-lived McDonaldland character who was introduced in 1998 and dropped in 2001. The self-proclaimed vice president of snacking. He was a floating, fast-moving green fuzzball with orange arms and a monstrous face who has a big appetite. Again, what was happening in these marketing meetings?
I would love to know, but I'm suspecting that there are beverages or substances.
Chicago, man.
Unbelievable.
Hey, yeah, come on, we got to go. The Bears are about to kick off. Let's just do it. Just put something on paper. Where's the HR Puffin Stuff storybook?
803-4. There's your trip down memory lane on McDonald. We'll get back to
been tripping already.
We'll get back to McDonald. We will not get back to McDonald. We'll get back to recruiting, which at times is like McDonald land. We'll get back to that and get you an update on Daniel Hill. We may even convince JC to stay an extra segment since that one went Preston leaves and when just everything goes sideways. Just
but he'll be glad because he was probably listening, going, "Thank goodness I was." I'm glad to listen to that, but I really am glad I wasn't a part of this.
I think he would have had multiple hot takes on that. I feel like he has missed, and we will have to revisit tomorrow, maybe with Heath Klein too, because I feel like Heath might have some hot takes on that as well. We'll be back. We'll be back. Get into a little running back recruiting.
Wait till talk to Tony Annan about this. You think he was?
He's Friday. He's Friday. Now we know where we're going the rest of the week.
He was peeved that you brought up Pop-Tarts to him. Can you imagine you going Mayor McCheese with him?
He won't come back. He won't come back. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Family Dollar. Celebrate big this summer while saving more with Family Dollar. Find a great variety of decorations and accessories to set the party mood. Plus, everything for the grill and your favorite drinks at great prices. Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Life matters. People all experience setbacks, discouragement, mistakes, and failures. What matters is that when you fall forward. Colonel Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame had his chicken recipe rejected hundreds of times before anyone accepted it. Decca Recording Company turned down the Beatles in 1962. They said, "We don't like their sound. Groups of guitarists are on the way out." I once read that Walt Disney went broke 7 times and had a nervous breakdown before becoming successful. So you failed. David blew it big time with God in his adulterous affair with Bathsheba, and then had her husband killed. But David was a man after God's own heart because David was honest with God, admitted his failures, confessed his sins, and received God's mercy and forgiveness. Remember, failure is an event, a happening, not a person. This is Pastor Stephen Chitty. Remember, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
I'm proud to work for Volvo Cars because we're helping build a safer, more sustainable future for everyone. My name is Tamara Thompson. I'm from South Carolina, born and raised in Sumter. I'm a quality launch supervisor at the Volvo Cars plant in Ridgeville. I'm helping build the new Volvo EX90 here. At Volvo Cars, people are at the center. We feel supported, recognized, and feel like we can grow our careers. And we're hiring. Apply now at readysc.org/Volvo.
No manufacturing experience required. Must be 18 years or older with a high school diploma or GED.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
Why do you change your car's air filter? Because when it's clogged, it doesn't work. The same is true of your nose, the body's air filter. It's great at trapping allergens, dust, and viruses, but unless you clean it regularly, they can stay trapped, making you miserable. I'm Martin Hogue, inventor of Navage, the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, helping to flush out allergens, mucus, and germs. Here's a testimonial from a verified purchaser and a big Navage fan. Quote, "I've been suffering for 30 years with chronic sinus infections and allergies. I stumbled across Navage. The suction is amazing. It cleared my sinus cavities better than anything I've tried before." Unquote. Navage has over 120,000 reviews with a 4.6-star average written by people who use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. Wash your body's air filter with Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, Navage, clean nose, healthy life.
Zerust Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's hottest summer sale is going on now. 15% off all cleaning services. Mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game, and you'll get 15% off your next service. Use promo code SUMMERSALE when scheduling online at ZerustColumbia.com.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
67 days till kickoff.
Winner of Chevrolet's Mark of Excellence Award for Best in-Class Customer Experience. Maybe that's what Love customers love so much about Love Chevy.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Find new roads.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring mental health professionals, mental health officers, and more behavioral health positions across the state. There's increased pay for mental health professionals and mental health officers and great benefits available. Visit joinscdc.com to apply. Sponsored by South Carolina Department of Corrections, SCBA, and the station.
Sponsored by Molina Healthcare. Feel better with Molina Healthcare.
Hey, I'm Connor Shaw, former Gamecock quarterback. My friends at Molina Healthcare want to help everyone with Medicaid keep their coverage. Molina can answer your questions and help renew your Medicaid coverage. Don't risk losing it. Visit molinarenewyou.com/SC.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
I-20 westbound at Wilson Boulevard, the only accident out there that we are seeing that is being worked this morning. Hope it stays that way. No more tie-ups to speak of. Less humid, 93 for the high today. Sunny and hot tomorrow, 93. 95 for Thursday. It's kind of nice. Sunny, 71 at 1075 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
The McDonald's characters conversation just rolling along as Richard saying scary how much JC knows about McDonald's. Sammy weighing in saying that McDonald's stretch was strong, but the California Raisins Happy Meal toys were the best. Well, there was a day and age those Happy Meal toys were something else, JC. And then
Weren't the California Raisins at Hardee's though for a while?
were they just bounce
Am I
around?
thinking of that?
Well, we'll do some.
I don't know. I'm getting mixed up, man. Hardy.
Do you remember when it got
I used to.
really
Go ahead.
phobic or got really crazy with the whole Beanie Babies?
Oh yeah, there's a documentary on that now.
Oh my gosh, where people were like buying Happy Meals, not even
Oh,
to get the food. Like they're little Beanie Babies, like in the McDonald's in the Happy
Yeah.
Meals. It was insane.
Yeah, 803-404-6100. We will see if we can snag JC for one more segment after this because there is some other stuff I want to get into. But real quick, the other name, one of the other big names, JC, from the weekend was Daniel Hill that took a recruiting visit to South Carolina. This is a kid, South Carolina. One thing about Shane Beamer and staff, you look at it, they've gone toe-to-toe in recruiting the last 2-3 years with big boys, and this is another one, 6'1", 220 running back out of Mississippi, and it'll be South Carolina or Alabama likely for him.
Yeah, and he had a really good visit, and I think the Gamecocks have a little bit of work to do there. I think you got to get everybody on the same page within his inner circle. So, and I think the Gamecocks will end up with him, but I'm not as, I guess, I don't know. I guess I'm not maybe quite as confident as I once was when he was naming the Gamecocks as leader publicly after visiting LSU and things like that. You always got to watch out for Alabama, especially a kid from where he's at. Meridian, Mississippi is probably from Spartanburg to Columbia, away from Tuscaloosa. It's kind of the next town over when you're going down 59/20, heading west from Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and all that. So, you cross the border and you're in Meridian. So it's almost in Alabama. It's a lot like Augusta or Charlotte or someplace like that. So it's, it'd be a heck of a win for the Gamecocks if they could pull him off. I still think I would call them the favorite, but I'm probably not as, I'm probably not penciling him in as often as maybe I want to do.
Okay. All right. You got about 12 minutes, 14 minutes with us still next hour? Or
sure. No problem.
Let's do one more. Let's keep, because we won't be back next week. Next week I'm off and you're on vacation. We'll cover a few more things there. We'll actually stick to sports, a little less McDonald's talk. Hour 3 on the way. One more segment with JC Sherbert up next.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Tony Annan, head men's soccer coach at the University of South Carolina. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
If you have tax problems, it can affect all aspects of your life. Now's the time to do something about it. Hi, I'm local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. Everyone at our firm truly believes we can improve the lives of our clients by eliminating the stress and worry of IRS tax problems. We're a local South Carolina law firm dedicated to resolving your tax problems for good. Simply put, we solve tax problems. So if you're facing IRS tax liens, bank or wage levies, or have years of unfiled tax returns, come meet with us in person. Your first visit is free and confidential. We'll show you how we will solve your problem and how much it'll cost. So don't put it off any longer. Call us now at 803-771-9800. That's 803-771-9800. Or go to our website at irsproblemsolving.com. It is time to do something about that tax problem. Your solution is right here in South Carolina. So hire a South Carolina attorney. Hire me.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate
South
Roofing-
Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, law enforcement officers, teachers, and more statewide. There are sign-on bonuses for officers, food services, nurses, and law enforcement officers. South Carolina Department of Corrections has great employee benefits like 6 weeks of PTO accrued yearly and police officer retirement. Start a rewarding new career today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
Harry Ford 107.5 The Game with my buddy Adam Vance for Sound and Images. Now, Adam wanted to come in, not so much talk about how great Sound and Images is as a business, wanted to address the cufflink controversy of you walking around with your initials on your shirts.
Terry, yes, I do have to address the cufflink issue. And yes, I would appreciate if you went to soundandimages.net. We've got great commercial audiovisual products for you all day long. My man Paul McKeon, Tom James, I order some shirts. They come with initials. I come in here, I do a spoof, I do a spiff, whatever you call it.
It's a spot. That's okay. It's okay.
Sure, world boss. I do that. And then all of a sudden I get all this grief. I'm walking down the street. I'm going into, you name the store, and all these people are talking about my cufflinks. So now I'm getting my socks monogrammed. I've got my napkins, paper towel, you name it. Thanks, Terry.
Sound and Images, Adam Vance. If you want to reach out to Adam Vance, just go to soundandimages.net or call 803-791-39.
What we're talking about on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by the Power of Love Chevrolet, celebrating the Chevy Silverado for the first time in history, the #1 selling retail full-size pickup in America. Come by and feel the power of love. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
Bill Gunter.
6:52 on a Saturday.
So, hey, real quick, while Bill's looking at the calendar, did you see that Aaliyah Boston was named WNBA Eastern Conference Player of the Week?
I did not.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen.
Kind of impressive.
Of course, right now I couldn't tell you what day it is with a calendar in front of me. I've said Tuesday. I just said Saturday.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know.
107.5 The Game.
8:02 on a. I was just listening to that promo. Today is Tuesday. I'm getting, but you take some days off and you have no clue what day or time it is or what's going on. But I do know today is Tuesday. Next week we will be off as a station on Monday and Tuesday, celebrating the 4th of July, and then I personally will be off on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before returning to the station for about 3 straight weeks before a few more vacation days. We will roll right into football season. In those 3 weeks, one of them I'll be up in Nashville and sticking around for one more segment to kind of finish talking recruiting, but also the month of July here, as he'll be off next week, is JC Sherbert of thebigspur.com. And JC, I want to go back. One of those questions that was asked here on our Firehouse Subs text line, asking about wide receiver, 4-star wide receiver Jonathan Paylor. We have not discussed him just yet. That was a guy that we kind of mentioned, but certainly it's interesting. And I don't want to place blame on any one particular person who's no longer at the University of South Carolina, is now out in the Midwest. Justin Stepp was known as a really good recruiter prior to coming to South Carolina, especially at the wide receiver position. And there was no question that he landed a nice piece here, a nice piece there. But the offensive system that was being run out on the field was having a hard time attracting guys, getting guys like Antonio Williams to commit early. All the guys, even Mazio Bennett, made a decision early on to commit to Tennessee. He's now flipped. You're starting to see in this recruiting class with Bennett, potentially with Paylor, and a guy like Keelan Adams, what Justin Stepp can do on the recruiting trail with an offensive system that may be more appealing to wide receivers.
Yeah, and they really like the 4 they signed in the last class too. I mean, 5 if you count Nick Harbor. So, yeah, it's up and running and ready to go. And Paylor's a guy, they call him the missile, and he kind of plays like it. He's going to remind you of maybe some of the Spurrier era guys like Bruce Ellington. He's faster than Pharaoh Cooper, but has a game kind of like his. Ace Sanders a little bit. He's taller than Ace, but yeah, he's an explosive playmaker. Crystal balls have rolled in for him. He's been clear. South Carolina's been a leader for a while. From Burlington, North Carolina, which that's kind of been a dead zone in North Carolina for about 20 years as far as the Gamecocks are concerned. So good to get a guy from up there if they end up getting him. And I think he's a special player. I mean, you never can have too many guys like that can house it. So yeah, I like where the Gamecocks stand with him. And I think receiver recruiting has taken a turn for the better. I mean, talking to Taylor Edwards on Inside the Gamecocks, the show shortly after signing day, he went on and on about the 4 they signed, last year, and that wasn't even including Harbor, who's going to start out at receiver, Tyshawn Russell, Elijah Caldwell, Kelton Henderson, and then C.J. Adams. So they think that that room, and look, let's be fair to Justin Stepp. I hear some grumblings from time to time. Oh, he's been disappointing, or that's just not true. He flipped the room in a year. So I mean, that's basically what you do. It doesn't matter if you do it through the portal or through the high school rank. And certainly getting Williams was disappointing and all that good stuff. But or not getting him was disappointing. But he's done a great job. And I think the future's outstandingly bright at that spot.
To go back to that, yeah, I don't know if he gets the credit because it was a transfer of Juice Wells, who I think with a big season could really be up there in the NFL draft. But you're right when you talk about it. And it looks like with guys like Paylor, with Kelton Henderson, Tyshawn Russell, one thing that South Carolina has done differently than the previous regime is really focus in on elite speed, because that's what Russell's supposed to have. I think Caldwell is a speed guy as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Paylor is going to be a speed guy. Not that Mazio Bennett is slow, by the way, but it just seems like this is a different level of speed that they look to be bringing in. And correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, you have to be fast in that position. I mean, it's not that sometimes a guy that runs a 4.7 can't go out there and play the position. I mean, heck, Michael Irvin and Jerry Rice, neither one of those guys were speed demons, but they're the exception. And I think a lot of times, I think really the last two receivers coaches before Step, Steve Spurrier Jr. and Brian McClendon, made tragic errors by going with size over speed. Now, you do have to have size in this league. Don't get me wrong. You can't have a bunch of little guys because they'll get jammed really quick. But I like the balance and the fact that when they evaluate these guys, they make sure they all can run. I think that's you just can't go wrong when you recruit speed at receiver. So that is a positive trend and one I've noticed as well, Bill.
803-404-6100 if you want to get a question in here. So as we go in now, that pretty much does it for official visits during the summertime. South Carolina will now move on to some other things. I ask you, as we go into July here after this week, what are you looking for with South Carolina closing out the summer recruiting period? Paylor is a guy who's mentioned he may make an announcement by the end of July. Dylan Stewart is another guy that potentially by the end of July. Keelan Adams, another wide receiver that we've kind of talked about that has some of that size you were just referencing, is expected to make an announcement on July 13th. So what are you kind of watching? I think there is, correct me if I'm wrong, there'll be one other, I guess, rising junior cookout or there'll be some rising seniors. There will be one other big recruiting event for South Carolina.
Yeah, at the end of July. I just, some of these guys that have visited officially, where they going to land. I mean, a guy I have my eye on right now is Liam Andrews, the 4-star defensive lineman. He's listed as an offensive lineman on 24/7 Sports. Some of our analysts like him better on offense. I kind of like him better on defense, Bill, when I kind of look at how he plays. Not that he couldn't play offensive line, but he's a tough player. He's from Massachusetts, where Dante Reno is playing. Knows Dante, had a great visit. So that's one I think could kind of sneakily come the Gamecocks' way, and certainly would fill a need on at the defensive line position. I think he projects on the interior. So, looking for that, looking to see where the Paylors and Hills and Dylan Stewart's obviously end up. Curious to see, there were a lot of defensive backs that visited there for a while that certainly have a lot of good upside. Where do those guys land? And then, the running back position, Matthew Fuller obviously is a start. If they don't get Daniel Hill for some reason, where do they go from at that spot? Because that's obviously they have to have numbers there and preferably quality numbers in the 2024 cycle. So it's going to be interesting to follow. Unlike back in the day where when you had an official visit weekend, you probably wouldn't get much past Monday without all the guys that were supposed to commit committing. But these days, kids do videos and reveals and stuff like that. And I don't remember the last couple of years. Some of these June officials have lingered into like July decisions. And so that's, July is going to be a month of decisions that you're going to have to track and see where the class stands by the time that next cookout comes around in July. And then everybody gets the pads on again and goes out and practices. And before you know it, the kickoff against North Carolina will be there.
Didn't get a chance to talk to you, or we didn't really talk much. And before I let you, I'll just get your opinion because I'm going back to the regular season and now looking ahead to 2024. What Georgia's doing on the recruiting trail is ridiculous. But I hadn't gotten your opinion and quickly or just some quick thoughts on seeing the 2024 opponents for South Carolina. And what was your take on that? No Georgia, no Florida, no Tennessee. I was okay with that. I like getting LSU here in Columbia. Hadn't seen them in a very long time. Same with Mississippi. I like going to Oklahoma. To me, maybe I'd have preferred not to see Missouri. I don't think a lot of fans get anything out of that football rivalry, so to speak. But overall, I was pretty excited with what I saw to be the 8-game slate for 2024. What were your take? What was your thoughts?
I mean, it's different, and Gamecock fans, I think, are kind of split. It's almost like asking them whether they like garnet or black uniforms. That kind of split. With the fan base, some are livid because they rival. It's probably their biggest SEC rival. You want to beat them every year. You want to beat Tennessee every year. Certainly, Florida and Carolina have a lot of connections, and that's become an interesting series. But I also think there's a portion of the fan base, and the fan base is everywhere, Bill, that, we're going on like 31 years of the same schedule. So, how many times can you go to Lexington and love it? And how many times can you go to Gainesville? I mean, it's more of a Western oriented schedule. I think South Carolina only plays one team, and that's Kentucky, that's located in the Eastern time zone in the conference. And so I think what they did with regards to South Carolina, I think they looked at it and went, well, who haven't they played in a while? Well, it's been since 2009 since they played Ole Miss in Columbia. It's been since 2009 since they played in Tuscaloosa. It's been since 2008 since LSU's been to Columbia. Okay, well, what games have a trophy? Texas A&M and Missouri. All right, there you go. There's 5. Who else? We'll give them Kentucky and Vandy, and then whoever else is on the schedule kind of escapes me off the top of my head. Maybe I'm already at 8, but that seems to be kind
Oklahoma
of
Oklahoma was the 8th.
Oklahoma, yeah. So Oklahoma or Texas. Well, Beamer used to coach at Oklahoma. Give him Oklahoma, and Venables used to be at Clemson. That's a good storyline. So there you go. There's your schedule. It probably, and I don't know if that was their line of thinking, but it seemed to me like, okay, what hadn't happened in a while? Save the trophy games. Kentucky's going to be the permanent opponent or a permanent opponent regardless. Give them Vandy, and then do the Beamer homecoming out in Norman. So, but I like it. I think it's very manageable. I think, a lot of people kind of fear Ole Miss a little bit because of Lane Kiffin, and he's had a lot of success against the Gamecocks. But, South Carolina and Ole Miss are not far apart as a program. You don't know what's going to happen at A&M. Missouri, Kentucky, Vandy, those are schools the Gamecocks every season should compete against and beat, especially in year 4 of a coaching staff. So, you kind of got to like it. I mean, you're going to have a new offensive line that's going to be somewhat young, depending on if they get anybody from the portal or not next year. And you're going to have a new starter at quarterback. So you probably didn't need to, play like the 2025 schedule, which includes Coastal Carolina and Virginia Tech out of conference, and, probably a whole lot of other tough games. You probably, if you look at 2024, it's very manageable. With the exception, LSU and Alabama are obviously always tough outs because of how good they are annually on the line of scrimmage. But you kind of got to like how it played out, both in terms of fans being interested and having some good home crowds, but also in terms of competitive balance. So I don't think Carolina has anything to complain about.
JC, I think we've covered about everything today. Recruiting season, and boy, that Jen is already fired up. She said the McDonald's, the McDonaldland segment gets its own podcast for today, as we have brought people back down the road there. Lloyd saying Grimace must work on the ice cream machines because they never work. Which does seem fair. It seems to be a big thing. Buddy, I appreciate it.
We did it all.
We covered it all. It's time for a vacation for you, man. Hope you enjoy the rest of the week, and know you're off next week, so we'll catch up with you in 2 weeks.
Appreciate you guys. Talk to you soon.
Take care. JC Sherbert of thebigspur.com joining us this morning. We'll get into a little bit of Greg Sankey talking about scheduling, talking about playoff games, even talking tweaks to the transfer portal when we come back. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We are very social.
At 107.5 The Game on Twitter, 107.5 The Game on Instagram, and 107.5 The Game on Facebook.
Oh, Teddy, did you get my friend request? Oh, I'll have to check.
Your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Today is Tuesday. Now, if you live around the lake or if you got plans for this weekend, it might involve catching the fireworks out on Lake Murray. That's this coming weekend. But leading up to the 4th of July, you're going to probably want to start planning that 4th of July weekend or 4th of July week menu. And it starts at Old Timey Meat Market, whether it's steak, which according to Jen tastes like meat, whether it's chicken, whether it's pork, whether it's salmon, whether it's oysters. Maybe you want to start thinking ahead to fixing a great family breakfast. They've got great sausage patties there. Excellent breakfast, Southern biscuits, breakfast biscuits, whatever it is, Old Timey Meat Market has got you taken care of. So as you start to think ahead today on Tuesday about what you want to grill this coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the 4th of July, it starts with a trip to Old Timey Meat Market. Go visit one of their 3 phenomenal locations, whether it's St. Andrews, whether it's South Congaree, or the place I can guarantee you'll run into me this coming weekend, the Lexington store. Old Timey Meat Market is your home to the absolute best quality cuts of meat you'll find anywhere in our fantastic state. So as you get ready to celebrate 4th of July weekend and next week, make the trip to Old Timey Meat Market and start planning that menu. I'm telling you what, you will not go wrong. And maybe you're in the market for a new smoker. Don't worry. Old Timey Meat Market has got you taken care of. They got a fantastic line of grills and smokers you can go and check out as well. So go visit Old Timey Meat Market today. Get your weekend off to the right start by getting the best cuts of meat, fish, whatever it is. Alligator tail. You've heard me mention that as well. Old Timey Meat Market cannot be beat. Again, South Congaree, St. Andrews, or Lexington. Visit Old Timey Meat Market today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
This is Andrew Bogish with a CBS Sports Minute sponsored by Dell. Dell Technologies summer sale starts now at Dell.com/deals. Connor Bedard hasn't played in the NHL yet, but now he has already been honored at the league's annual awards show. Last night in Nashville, Bedard won the E.J. Maguire Award for his commitment to excellence on and off the ice. The next honor comes tomorrow night when Chicago makes him the #1 pick. I'm Andrew Bogish.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Shop the best deals of the summer now at Lowe's. Save up to an additional $1,000 on select major kitchen appliances. And for a limited time, save up to $3,165 on select 4-piece LG kitchen suites. Plus, save on hanging baskets of annuals. Right now, get 2 for just $15. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 6/28. Appliance savings vary based on purchase amount. Hanging basket offer in-store only and excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for details.
Sponsored by Mattress Firm. Stop waiting for a great deal on better sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is happening now. Save up to $700 on top brands when you get a king bed for a queen price. Plus, get a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. Shop today to get the right bed at the right price.
Not even the most well-kept homes are immune to termites. So call Dodson Pest Control. With over 75 years of experience, they will make sure your home is looking good inside and outside your walls. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
Trust, we will trust. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet or visit us online at HerndonChevy.com today.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
The Guttermen have been providing top-notch service throughout the Midlands for over 47 years, building their business on relationships, not gimmicks. And you can call them locally, not a 1-800 number. Call them today at 791-7147 and look for the guys in the powder blue trucks.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Waper Incorporated has been providing great service and top-of-the-line equipment for Columbia's janitorial needs for 50 years. Skip Skipper and Jay Coleman at Waper Incorporated offer unbeatable pre-sale and post-sale service for their equipment to achieve the highest level of customer satisfaction in the Midlands. Waper provides in-service equipment training, installation of proportioning systems and hand care systems, along with a full array of janitorial products, offering next or same-day delivery to the greater Columbia area. Let Waper serve you. Call 803-600-3757 or WaperIncSC.com.
107.5 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Well, good news is the accident I-20 westbound at Wilson Boulevard has been cleared. Bad news is we have a few to replace it. Raven Road at LeGrand Road, an accident. You'll also find one Ridgeview Drive at Summit Ridge Drive. Highway 6 at I-20, an accident there. Also Columbia Avenue at Broad River Road and Kaufman Road at Benson Road. So those are the tie-ups that you're encountering this morning out there on the highways. Looking for a high today of 93 today, actually, and tomorrow. 95 on Thursday, 71 with some sun right now at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
What is interesting is naturally, you've seen a number of our programs that have been on the very successful end, adding a 10th high quality opponent through non-conference scheduling.
And on home and homes.
And
Alabama is doing that
I think
now.
that's really exciting. You know,
I did the Texas game last year, and it was
Exactly.
fantastic.
That's
It was
what I was
fantastic.
saying. Was you and I spent time in Austin, and we think about the atmosphere. And I was asked at halftime by some of the Austin media, like, isn't this environment great? I said, well, it's familiar, which I guess is my SEC arrogance, and it was, and that's I think what we can build. But our decisions about scheduling will have a lot of factors: non-conference game access, the number of conference games, how we place games and how we schedule within the conference context. While we try to spread conference games throughout the season, we're somewhat unique in that we start week 2 with really important games.
Yeah.
If you're going to play in week 2,
I think
that
it's been
means
really smart.
you're going to have to fill some games out later in the season with non-conference foes.
Yeah, but it gives me opportunity to take a shot.
Yeah, it does.
Right. You know, in November when Mercer rolls in, I get
that last game, as I recall, was 65-7, wasn't it?
It was. I was there.
So there's something different happening in the SEC.
Listen, you guys.
I will say, you know, the competition with Ohio State was phenomenal. I think
Great game.
we've got some games there scheduled, and you know we haven't played the Big Ten in the regular season. Those would be exciting, I think.
That was Greg Sankey on the Joel Klatt podcast talking about scheduling for the SEC kind of across the board. It's going to be really interesting to see kind of the evolution of the SEC. Who look, there's typically speaking, the SEC will have their conference games, and each team generally, not always, there are certain teams that do not. I think Alabama this year fits that mold this year, but typically speaking, the SEC, each team plays kind of what would be one marquee game. I forget. Alabama gets Texas this year. I forgot about that in Tuscaloosa. But by and large, and I'm just, for example, LSU has played Florida State last year. They'll play them again this year. Next year, LSU will play Southern Cal and UCLA. Clemson fans can get excited. LSU will travel to Memorial Stadium on August 30th of 2025, and then Clemson will make the return trip to Death Valley in 2026. LSU does have a game against Houston lined up in 2027. They've got some Arizona State games, some Utah games. By and large, the SEC does indeed schedule one big, or each team, Kentucky, kind of the anomaly there. Kentucky is always up for whatever cupcakes can be fed to them. But again, looking at Alabama has Texas. Yes, going back to what you just heard Joel Klatt say, I'll get my shot in for a game against Mercer in late November. Well, Alabama does have Chattanooga on November 18th. They do have Mercer set up for November 16th of 2024. So Alabama does have a strategy of playing a very weak opponent the week prior to the Auburn game. But Alabama, again, with a Texas matchup on the schedule. Alabama does go to, I didn't realize this until I'm just looking at future schedules. Alabama goes to South Florida on September 16th of this year. Next year, Alabama plays a game at Wisconsin. I believe that's a true home and not at Lambeau Field. Alabama has a game lined up at West Virginia and Florida State in 2026. Alabama will play at Ohio State in 2027, and Ohio State will make the return trip in 2028. So you kind of get the point here. Alabama, LSU, we know about South Carolina's schedule, having North Carolina this year. It'll be Virginia Tech in 2025 in Atlanta. We know about the games lined up with Miami, with North Carolina State. So And that's just a couple of examples. Georgia was the one that went out and really scheduled aggressively. They had some games lined up with Texas and Oklahoma that have been since changed. Georgia kind of avoiding the big games this year, UT Martin, Ball State, and Alabama Birmingham. But Georgia lined up to play Clemson again in 2024 in Atlanta. Georgia's got games with UCLA scheduled for 2025 and 2026, and a game at Louisville in 2026, Florida State and Georgia in 2027 and 2028. More games against Clemson in 2029 and 2030. The 2030 schedule is the ridiculous one for Georgia. Clemson and Ohio State. And I believe that year also had an Oklahoma game lined up, but with Oklahoma coming to the conference, it came off the books, and now they'll get North Carolina A&T for that particular year. But, I'm not one that, look, I'm not saying that the SEC plays 11 or 12 monstrous games. They do play those Mercers. They do play the Chattanoogas. They play the Furmans, so forth and so on. But that's how they schedule. One thing to keep an eye on moving forward is how the SEC will schedule as it pertains to how you get into the college football playoff. If the College Football Playoff Committee deems 8 games is good enough to believe in the SEC and a team with 2 or 3 losses in that 11th or 12th spot, you better believe the SEC is going to stick with it. So we'll continue to watch as Greg Sankey and the conference move through that. The other thing that Greg Sankey was talking about is tweaks to the transfer portal. This is a little bit long-winded, but obviously the transfer portal, something that about both coaches and fans have a lot of questions about. Here's Greg Sankey talking with Joel Klatt about tweaks to the transfer portal.
I think on the transfer issue, personally, we went from a 365-day portal to a 60-day portal.
I think that was a
football.
great change.
45 days at the end of the year, of the end of the regular season, then 15 at the end of spring. So I think the portal opens up in now mid-April through. So we're going to have a little bit of discomfort, is the way I like to say it.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back at what we learned in December and January this year, I think we shortened that 45 days. Not everyone will like that. But what you saw was when the portal opened the day after bowl placement, so every sport the day after postseason selection is when the portal opens. The first week or two, it's the exact behavior anticipated. A bunch of people who said, I either don't want to be here, I want more playing time, I didn't make the right choice, I want to be closer on whatever it is, raised their hand in the portal and said it's time to leave. After that 2 weeks, a lot of stories, anecdotal, admittedly, where you have influencers, if you will, third parties, agents, people that we don't know saying, hey, I got a deal for you if you leave. That's not name, image, and likeness. That's not. Some have described it as bribery. Some have described it as inducements.
Yeah.
That's not what it's supposed to.
That's Greg Sankey again on the Joel Klatt podcast talking about tweaks to the transfer portal. We'll talk about that a little bit when we come back. We'll also tell you yesterday some more scheduling news, but it was as it pertains to this coming college basketball season for South Carolina. The Gamecocks learning their SEC rotation, not the dates, just the opponents home and away and where they'll face everybody. I'll get you a little bit of information on that as we roll along. You're listening to Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Hey, it's me again with another update. We've got our bleeping main transmitter back. That over the top. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm gonna ratchet it down a hair. That means you can get back to hearing 107.5 The Game the way you used to. But feel free to continue using the 107.5 The Game app. Either way, no charge whatsoever. We also want to say thank you for your patience and your understanding as we went through all this. I mean, I almost cussed. It was okay. Yeah. I almost lost it as we went through this technical ordeal. I can only imagine how you felt. Seriously, we appreciate you, our loyal listener, from your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Summer is upon us. It was warm yesterday. It's going to get warmer. It's going to get cooler in January. You get the point. You know how it works around here. Most of you, if you're not, boy, are you in for a real treat when we get to July and August with the heat and the why they call Columbia famously hot. Be prepared. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Don't wait until the air conditioner goes out. That's when you've made a mistake. Call today. $69. That's all it'll cost to get maintenance done on your unit. And if there's some clinking and clunking and something's going wrong and it needs to be repaired, guess what? AAA Heating and Air, they'll waive the maintenance fee. As long as you approve the repairs, AAA Heating and Air will waive the maintenance fee. They'll get it repaired and you'll be ready. You will not come home in August when it's like 103 degrees with 98% humidity and be miserable. No, your heating and air unit will be working properly. And trust me, it's going to get cold in January again. I don't handle the cold well at all. That's why this past February, I had AAA Heating and Air come out, put a brand new unit in at the Gunner household. It's working fantastic. It's kept the house air conditioned perfectly so far through these first actual few days of summer. It'll work great in the winter when I want some heat. I trust AAA Heating and Air. They did a fantastic job installing a brand new unit. And you know what? If you want a brand new unit, you can get one too, and you can get a great deal on it. They'll offer you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. They guarantee financing, and for qualified buyers, you can get 0% financing. And the best part, a 15-year parts and labor warranty. So I feel comfortable knowing if something happens, AAA Heating and Air has promised me that 15-year parts and labor warranty. The heating and air unit will continue to work as they'll come and get it taken care of. Call AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500. Call AAA Heating and Air. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Can you imagine being a superhero?
With a sidekick?
Can you imagine you can fly?
Your sidekick shows up wherever you are.
In a fancy blue truck.
And whatever you point at disappears.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is your sidekick.
We're twitching in anticipation.
Vibrating with energy.
We haul away whatever you point at.
Any home or apartment.
Workplace or job site.
We're industrial strength sidekicks.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. When it comes to diamonds, everybody knows that we have the best selection. But did you know that we also have the best prices? How do we do it? In Mine Diamonds, we work directly with the largest cutters, and in lab-grown diamonds, by working directly with the growing laboratories, which allows us to offer you the best quality at the very best price. Like a lab-grown 1-carat diamond for just $999, or a 2-carat for just $2,999. We've even got a beautiful colorless 3-carat diamond for just $4,999. And once you've picked your diamond, we can help you pick exactly the right engagement ring style from our selection of over 1,000 rings, or we can help you design a custom ring that meets your exact specifications. So do your homework and see what diamonds are selling for online, and then come see us. You'll get exactly what you want at the very best price. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, 5134 Sunset Boulevard in Lexington, and in Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
One search engine is used by 9 out of 10 consumers. Hint, the name begins with a G. And there are hundreds of things that go into being ranked highly by that engine. Your website, your business profile, even your social accounts. A couple of slip-ups and you find yourself on page 7. But at Cumulus Boost, we have the experts and resources to fix what's wrong and boost your findability so you can rank higher than your competition. Get started today at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for another First Alert traffic update. As we've seen around the region, things have been mostly calm, but there was an accident at I-20 westbound, exit 70. And that is the exit ramp to North Main Street, I-20 westbound, exit ramp to North Main Street. Exit 71, there was an accident that has since been cleared up a bit. Traffic still backed up a little bit there on that portion of I-20, but it is seemingly moving along smoothly. And other than that, it has been a calm morning around the region. So let's keep it that way. Make it a great rest of your travel day. Thanks again for listening along here this morning. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Update. I'm meteorologist Tony Schiavaroli.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 1075 The Game.
There it is. And for the first time since 2009 and 7th overall, the Tigers can say we are champions.
That was the call last night on ESPN as LSU knocks off Florida, hammers Florida 18-4. LSU claiming the national championship and all SEC national championship between LSU and Florida. And as someone pointed out earlier on our Firehouse Sub text line, a little bit of a shame we didn't get better games. That game one was really fun and entertaining, 4-3. LSU won that, but game two, obviously, on Sunday, a 24-4 blowout, and then yesterday 18-4 blowout. Really 6 runs there early on from LSU, but it was 4 more in the 4th inning that put the Tigers up 10-2 as LSU cruises yesterday 18-4 and claim another national championship for a storied baseball program. We'll see where that program goes. We'll see where South Carolina goes, because other news yesterday as well, South Carolina appearing set to hire a new baseball, I'm going to mess that up. I was going to say a new baseball coach. That would really confuse some of you. South Carolina set to hire a new assistant baseball coach. Some changes coming to how colleges can handle their assistants. A third assistant being allowed now, in South Carolina will be hiring a new assistant baseball coach. I was looking to see if they've made it. I was scrolling my emails to see if it is official, and I do not at least see the official email making the announcement. But I know that South Carolina again set to hire Joey Holcomb from Campbell, an assistant and recruiting coordinator, just finished his 2nd year with the team. Again, I was just looking to see if it has been put out by the university, but I do not see, at least in my email inbox, anything, and I'll get you something that is in there in just a second. But Holcomb was part of the North Carolina State staff prior to his time at Campbell, and has helped Campbell. He's more, from what I've understood from John Whittle, more of a hitting coach, if you will, because part of the allure here is that Holcomb helped Campbell rank 9th in batting average, batting .318 this past season. They were 1st in own base percentage, 2nd in slugging percentage, and 7th in home runs, and 3rd in runs scored. So at least my understanding of Joey Holcomb is that he will be considered a guy you can kind of team with Monty Lee, and maybe the South Carolina bats pick up a little bit. Obviously, the staff being enhanced with Matt Williams coming from Liberty as the new pitching coach. So a lot happening here in the month of June with South Carolina baseball is Mark Kingston reaching what I think is most people would agree is the minimum for South Carolina. That's what you want, is getting to a super regional. And now the step will be to get back to Omaha, a place that South Carolina's not been in over a decade. And that's, look, it's not just Mark Kingston that's done it. You got Chad Holbrook as well, but that's unacceptable to a lot of South Carolina fans. And you know what? I can understand that. I agree. South Carolina should see Omaha, what do you want to say? Once every 5 years, 2 every 10 is what that equals. That's a perfectly realistic expectation for this baseball program with the way it is run and handled and the fan support that it has and the resources it has. So Mark Kingston making some moves there, and we'll see if Joey Holcomb is a guy that can come in and, again, help this team. Again, he was assistant coach and recruiting coordinator for Campbell this past season. And according to John Whittle, thebigspur.com, will be heading over to South Carolina. Other news, this did come into my email inbox yesterday, so I know it is official. The SEC announcing the upcoming league opponents for South Carolina. The home schedule, if you're thinking about tickets this year, the home schedule in SEC basketball will include Florida, Georgia, matchup with Kentucky, LSU, Mississippi. So Chris Beard, first year at Mississippi, will be in town. Missouri, Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt, all coming to South Carolina this year for the home games. The road games, Gamecocks will go to Alabama, go to Arkansas, Auburn. Also, we'll get Georgia on the road, Mississippi. So home and homes with Georgia, Mississippi State, part of that home and home rotation. So is Missouri, so is Tennessee. And the Gamecocks will also head out to College Station and take on Buzz Williams and Texas A&M. So again, just giving you a little heads up if you're thinking about purchasing tickets. Obviously, you can do that. Home SEC games this coming season: Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, LSU, Mississippi, Missouri, Mississippi State, Tennessee, and Vanderbilt. So the Gamecocks, at least no dates set just yet. It does appear that the league play will open a little bit later this year. They will open January 6th with the newly formed ACC SEC Challenge to take place for the first time as well. So the Gamecocks getting all of those games should be a lot of fun. We'll see if South Carolina gets a home ACC game. It was actually announced a while back, or it popped up on Twitter and I saw it, but I think it was made official at the end of last week about South Carolina playing Virginia Tech in Charlotte to start the season. The Gamecocks will also open the season with USC Upstate, or the official open to the season will be USC Upstate. And then that coming weekend, I believe it's November the 11th. I don't have it right in front of me, but either the 10th or 11th, South Carolina will take on Virginia Tech up in Charlotte as part of a little mini tournament, if you will. It'll be a 1-game deal. Virginia and Florida also will play each other up there, and you'll have South Carolina and Virginia Tech. So we're getting a little bit of the South Carolina basketball schedule. I would imagine typically it's released in the early part of August, the full schedule, and so we should be seeing that come out sometime here within the next 45 days as we count down to the start of the football season as well as college basketball. And I'm looking behind me on the Garnet Trust board here, and one of the names I see signed up on the Garnet Trust board is BJ Mack. So should be a little more excitement for South Carolina basketball in year 2 of Lamont Paris. I want to remind you later on today from 9 until noon, Gamecock Central's Takeover will be live from Firehouse Subs, 1214 Wilson Road in Newberry.
Gamecock Larry may be making an appearance.
I saw, social media, Facebook in particular, was ablaze. They got a picture up of Gamecock Larry with Terry and Jay out at Dynamic Marine last week.
Even Langston Moore was there.
Langston, I was there. I stopped by. I saw Langston.
I wasn't as worried about that. I just was saying the Langston was there, though.
Langston was there.
Yeah.
Yes. So there, we had a whole bunch of people there. Gamecock Larry, I believe Scott came by and got some tickets to Carowinds as well. I believe it was a guy named Scott. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe Gamecock Larry did. Maybe he was picking up like some couple roller coaster.
He is a
tickets.
well-known roller coaster enthusiast.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. Can you see him like flipping upside down?
Nothing like, I was going to say nothing like liver pudding and bacon and grits before you go ride
That'd be
roller
great.
coasters.
And then, but you know what? He would be so solid. He'd come off that roller coaster and he would have a a really spot on hot take or prediction for a game?
I think it would be that he's going 15-0 on
Yep.
roller coaster. He's winning every roller coaster he rides. He's going to win. I
Yep.
would bet that's the prediction. And that South Carolina will be in the college football playoff in 2024. That's typically how it goes. 803-404-6100. We wrap up the Tuesday morning edition of the early game next.
1075 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 1075 The Game.
Keeping your house nice and neat, making it look spectacular, whether it's the carpets, the rugs, maybe even it's the air ducts. Have you thought about your air duct cleaning in a while? Good Lord, I bet you haven't. And who knows what kind of dust and allergens are in there. You want to call Zerorez, because they don't just do great, fantastic carpet cleaning. They do the air ducts as well. And right now, you can save 15% on air duct cleaning when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game. So make that phone call. Get those air ducts clean. Trust me, you don't want those allergens and anything that's in there messing with your breathing in the home. You want it nice and clean. 803-262-4020. Or you can schedule online. Use promo code Summer Sale. Just go to ZerorezColumbia.com. So again, whether it's the carpets, the rugs, the tiles, whatever it may be that you see in your house, or whether it's the air quality, cleaning those air ducts is important. Use Zerorez today and take advantage of 15% off when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 1075 The Game. Again, you can go online as well, ZerorezColumbia.com. Use the promo code Summer Sale and take advantage. Again, 15% off all cleaning services. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Sponsored by Mattress Firm.
Stop waiting for a great deal on better sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is happening now. Save up to $700 on top brands when you get a king bed for a queen price. Plus, get a free adjustable base on qualifying purchases. Shop today to get the right bed at the right price.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for Integrated Media. Football season around the corner. That means finding the best way to watch the big game when you're not at the ballpark. Well, how about an amazing home theater system to catch all the action? No one in the Columbia area better at getting you ready than my good friends at Integrated Media. Just one call can get the guys in to install the latest in 4K technology from Samsung, including the Frame TV. Looks amazing when it's not tuned into a game, like, museum quality art. You couple that with a built-in Dolby surround system, it's like you're part of the action. You want to watch the game outdoors? Let Integrated Media install the outdoor home theater built around the Samsung Terrace TV and enhanced with the Sonos outdoor speaker system. The equipment is built to be outside all year. Trust me, it looks and sounds like anything inside does. One room, whole house, outdoors, Wi-Fi that works everywhere all the time. No better way to watch your team and be part of the action than with Integrated Media. Call them up, 803-948-8327. Feel like you're there with Integrated Media.
Getting rid of pests is not a do-it-yourself project, so call the 75-year professionals at Dodson Pest Control first. Visit DodsonBROS.com to find an office near you. Dodson, the pest professionals you trust.
1075 The Game traffic. Sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Hey everyone, a good Tuesday morning to you. It's time for another First Alert traffic update. As we've seen around the region, things have been mostly calm, but there was an accident at I-20 westbound, exit 70, and that is the exit ramp to North Main Street. I-20 westbound, exit ramp to North Main Street. Exit 71, there was an accident that has since been cleared up a bit. Traffic still backed up a little bit there on that portion of I-20, but it is seemingly moving along smoothly. And other than that, it has been a calm morning around the region, so let's keep it that way. Make it a great rest of your travel day. Thanks again for listening along here this morning. This has been a WIS First Alert Traffic Update. I'm meteorologist Tony Chivaroli.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 1075 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen
on your home of the Gamecocks.
1075 The Game.
Again, reminder coming up in just a few minutes. Gamecock Central and Tyler Head will all be out at Firehouse Subs. You can stop by and get a sub. Visit the boys, 1214 Wilson Road in Newberry. They will get you through the afternoon. Again, last night, South Carolina natives. Well, South Carolina Gamecocks. Aaliyah Boston is not a native, I should say, but South Carolina's own. That's the proper terminology. Asia Wilson and Aaliyah Boston going head-to-head in the WNBA. Really cool for South Carolina. I mean, a great, obviously, what Dawn Staley has done has been phenomenal, and it deserves a lot of attention. This was obviously not the finish to the season they wanted, but last night, another great sign of what Dawn Staley's done. Both former number one picks, obviously Aaliyah Boston in her rookie year. Aaliyah Boston last night, 20 points, 14 rebounds in a loss to Asia Wilson, who matched her. 24 points for Asia last night, 10 rebounds. Fantastic effort by both women as the Las Vegas Aces defeat the Indiana Fever 88-80. For those of you wondering, Victoria Saxon, who is on the Fever as well, did not play last night. So just two of the women there for South Carolina, but excellent job, excellent games for both of them. Aaliyah Boston, again, playing 34 minutes, 7 of 14 from the field, 6 of 7 from the foul line, snagging 14 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, absolutely filling up the stat sheet last night and scoring 20 points. And then you had Asia Wilson, 8 of 17 from the field, 7 of 7 from the foul line, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks. She committed 4 fouls too, but 24 points. Very impressive last night for both women and great representatives of both the University of South Carolina and Dawn Staley. And then, of course, also last night, the Florida Gators, well, they got the tables turned on them. After putting up 24 runs on Sunday in a 24-4 beating of LSU, last night, LSU 18 runs as they knock off Florida 18-4. To win the college baseball national championship. So that was pretty much what you had last night. We'll kind of move forward now. That's it. It's kind of that is, to my knowledge, I think that is the final collegiate championship. I don't know if there's something else out there that I'm missing, but I believe that is the final collegiate national championship of the year. So that concludes the 2022-2023 collegiate sports schedule. And now we get ready to go into July and we start ramping up to start the 2023-2024. I know we've got Tony Annan lined up for Friday. He'll be in here. He's not far away from getting his club back onto the pitch and getting ready to go. They released their schedule last week. Football is starting to really come around. We'll talk more about that as we roll through the week. Heath Klein due in tomorrow. Preston,
McDonald Land is on the podcast page.
Oh, if you need to know more about McDonald Land, we covered it this morning. It's been fun. We'll do it again tomorrow.
No grimacing.
Wow.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Gamecock catcher Cole Messina. You're listening to the home of the Gamecocks at 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
Do you remember your first Gamecock game? Who you were
I
with?
didn't get to talk.
Where did you sit?
Hey, how are you?
All right, they have about got us
I
set
can
up.
hear you
We're
guys.
doing beta testing or whatever they call it, but y'all can see here, right, Jay.
How are you?
Probably about 2 weeks. That's why we've been a little lax in the live stream.
Oh, good gracious.
It's coming. Jen's fired up for it. We will see y'all tomorrow.
Bill, Preston.
I'll get out of here with that. Later.
Bye.